Ash on my tongue, iron in my lungs, blood on the snow, name on their shields, night in my veins, storm in my ears. Wolves trace our steps, God's count our kill. You are waiting for Valhalla, I can hear it in your roar. Every scar a burning banner, every heartbeat keeps the door. You are waiting for Valhalla as the crows begin to call. If I fall in thunder. You are waiting for Valhalla. Frost on the oars, breathe like white smoke. Eyes on the shore, fire in the dark. Oath on my tongue, salt on my cloak. If this is the end, let it leave a mark. You are waiting for Valhalla, I can hear it in your roar. Every scar a burning banner, every heartbeat keeps the door. You are waiting for Valhalla as the crows begin to call. If I fall in thunder. You are waiting for Valhalla. If I do not see the morning, carry my name in your mouth. Raise up the horn, pour the glory, let my children hear the shout. Hey! You are waiting for Valhalla, I can hear it in your roar. Hey! Every scar a burning banner, every heartbeat keeps the door. You are waiting for Valhalla as the crows begin to call. If we fall in thunder. You are waiting for Valhalla.
Welcome. Hello, everybody, for another Friday evening live stream. We got a fun one today. We are going to talk about a few different things tonight, a few different topics tonight. We're going to talk, of course, about that the UFC event that is spiraling out of control for all sorts of different reasons, turning into a pretty impressive goy slop event, it's turned out. A lot of drama in that. Is Erika Kirk hosting the event? Maybe, maybe not. Some people say it's fake news, but there's nobody that's disproved it yet. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, obviously, the drama with Sean Strickland being banned from the event on behalf of Israel, of course, our greatest ally. They're not happy about that. And we're going to talk a little bit about new stuff with the Charlie Kirk trial that's come out recently, as well as a little update on the Iran war, which has gotten real weird now that Congress has officially voted to block Donald Trump from war powers in that war. So we'll talk about those three topics tonight. All right, should be a fun one. How's everybody doing tonight? Lebanon tuning in. We're going to talk about Lebanon tonight, it turns out. Absolutely, we'll be talking about Lebanon because Israel has just announced that they will not be adhering to any ceasefires. Go figure. So we're going to talk about that. All right. Tuning in from Kuwait, Australia. We got some wild ones tonight, huh? Where else? Where's Munchkin? We could probably get Munchkin in here. Let's see. Hold on. Probably get Munchkin in here in her new night vision goggles. Hold on. My wife and daughter just got home right before I came in the studio. Stand by 1 second. All right, we'll make the request. We'll make the request for Munchkin to make an appearance here in a bit. All right, let's see. Ireland, Belgium, Costa Rica. Man, we're from all over the place tonight, huh? Tuning in from all over the place. Awesome. Love to see it. Love to see it. Paging Munchkin. Yeah, we'll get my wife to respond and get Munchkin out here in her new night vision goggles that we got. Okay, now this UFC story, guys. There's just so many moving pieces to this at this point. It's a abject disaster all the way around. I don't know if who's UFC fans. Let's do a quick poll. See if I obviously am. As you know, martial arts is my main hobby, but let's see what you guys think. UFC fan, okay? Now, this doesn't mean like necessarily the UFC itself, but like who's a fan of mixed martial arts, who likes to watch it. And, you know, regardless of the UFC as an organization, right? Trash can organization at this point. Not really what I mean. Who's a fan of MMA in general? All right. That's what I mean by UFC. Let's figure that out. And let's figure that out first before we jump into it. But there's some broader importance to this UFC event, much more so now that we're seeing that our greatest ally even gets to control what happens at the White House during UFC events, aka banning champions, America First champions like Sean Strickland. So pretty wild. That story is obviously put a video out on that today. Yeah, for the poll, guys, it doesn't mean UFC necessarily, just means combat sports. Are you a fan of combat sports in general? All right. Yeah. So anyway, that way we can get a decent idea before we start about, looks like about a 50-50 split. Anyway, there's some broader context to this that's also important because, of course, it's somehow this event has turned into a Israel event, and I don't even know how this is possible, but that's where we're at. First thing we're going to talk about is the Erika Kirk is hosting the UFC event. This is viral all over the place. Is it true? Well, we're going to take a look at that. Okay, we're going to take a look at that, find out if this is actually the case. All right, so let's kick the show off with that story. All right, now this is all over Twitter as of yesterday. And here's our buddy. Oh, wait, we got Munchkin coming in. There's no. Oh, he's got to put him on. All right. Well, Munchkin just showed up, but she's got to get geared up real quick. All right. So this is all over the place, all over Twitter. And that is, yes, the UFC confirms Erika Kirk will host the White House Fight Night on June 1st. And our buddy Jake says the only American UFC champion had his tickets revoked, and now Erika Kirk is going to host. This is like a Black Mirror event. You also have other what? Are you ready? Yeah. Oh, Munchkin's coming in, guys, and in full get up here. So we gotta take a little pause here. Oh my god, she's not a fan. So here's Munchkin, and she's got her. Munchkin's. Hold on. She put him down. Oh, Munchkin. There we go. All right. Now Munchkin's got her night vision goggles on, as you guys can see. And we'll shout out who made these here soon. But yeah, so there's Munchkin in her new night vision goggles. Man, she's gonna hate this though. Oh yeah. Let's see if she'll hang out for a minute. Yeah, she's not a fan. She's not a fan of the night vision goggles. But anyway, there she is. We'll take the night vision goggles, see if she wants to stay in the cat tree. Put her in there. Oh, there you go. Okay. Let's move the hammer out of Munchkin's way. She'll probably be fine. Probably leave her in there. Okay. Yeah, she's not into it. She'll hang out here with us, but she's not into the night vision goggles. Anyway, so I'm weird because I have a cat with night vision goggles. You're fucking weird if you think that's weird. You sound like a gigantic douche if you think that's weird. Okay. Anyway, huh? It's on Instagram. Okay. Anyway, sorry guys. Somebody said gay to a cat, a munchkin cat in night vision goggles. Holy shit, man. That's crazy. You just got banned. Immediately banned. Could you imagine saying munchkin looks gay in night vision goggles? That's the fastest fucking ban you'll ever see in your life. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, we'll get the guy who makes those up in a second. Anyway, all right. So we had to take a little pit stop there for Munchkin and her NVGs. Should be hanging out. Okay, anyway, let's get back to Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk is the host. Now, there are some people who have said this is satirical, but I mean it's literally everywhere, right? Here's Erika Kirk is the host. I don't know. Oh, you're gonna take her with her? We'll bring it back Tuesday once I'm ready. I'm not going to deal with that right now. But anyway, so what do we think? Even Iran's defense force is reporting on Erika Kirk, supposedly Project Constitution reporting on it. Look at this. Okay, you deserve better psyops. Erika Kirk is a ring girl. You have this. I mean, at the White House event, United for America, Faith, Freedom, and Strength, announcing Erika Kirk on the UFC panel at the White House. So, I mean, everywhere we look, there's somehow Erika Kirk is hosting. Is Erika Kirk hosting? I don't know, guys. Some people are saying it's fake news. I haven't seen anybody actually debunk this yet. I also haven't seen any real reporting from the White House or Turning Point USA that she is. So at this point, it's up in the air. Keep in mind, could she be a host? Absolutely. Obviously, given Donald Trump being the host and our greatest ally pretty much running the entire thing, it would make sense. But again, I don't know. I hope not. I hope that's a bullshit. I hope to God the UFC. I mean, think about just dislikability. Dana White pretty much hated. Donald Trump hated. Netanyahu hated. We're going to talk about that next because he actually has been invited to the event. This is actually real. Whether he shows up or not, we don't know. But yes, the official invitation from the UFC White House event, Benjamin Netanyahu has been invited to the UFC White House event. Now, is he going to show up? I don't know. I couldn't imagine. It's the White House event, and he's the president, right? He's the president of the United States. He runs the White House, so I don't see why he wouldn't show up, right? But that's just, yeah, it's almost too much. But the UFC, man, you want to talk about brand destruction? This thing has turned into. Oh, man, this thing has turned into one of the biggest brand destroyers I have ever seen. We haven't even got into poor Justin Gaethje, who has walked into a hornet's nest, ruined his brand as well. But we're gonna get into that as we move into the show. Obviously, this is the actual big story, and again, we did the episode, a short episode on this today. We're going to get more in detail on it tonight. But that is that, Sean Strickland, if you don't follow the UFC, he is the only American champion, okay, in the UFC right now, the only American-born champion, middleweight champion. And he's also the only person banned from the UFC event. And as it says here, why was he banned? He made fun of Israel and Jeffrey Epstein. And that's actually the reason why he's banned, confirmed. And again, this is just wild that we have the White House UFC event, the only American champion in the entire roster is banned for criticizing our greatest ally. Now, first, I mean, obviously Sean is just based, and this is Sean has increased his popularity tenfold just from this, but he issued an apology for all the reasons that got him banned. So this apology, if you haven't seen this apology yet, we're going to watch this apology. This apology is fantastic. So God bless Sean for at least having the accountability and fortitude to come out and apologize for his actions.
But I got the call. I got the call. The UFC higher ups called me, the big names. They said, Sean, I got to apologize, but you're not Israeli enough to go to UFC 250 Israel edition. The White House didn't clear you. And I'm not really surprised, I'm not really surprised. So, I think moving forward, I would like to just apologize to Israel. I'd like to say I'm sorry, I'd like to apologize to Trump. And I just want to prove that I'm Israeli enough for you guys. Like, for instance, whenever the list disappeared and Trump goes out there and says to everybody that he can't really go into it because people that by association will get prosecuted and their names will be tarnished. I want to apologize because, I don't want them to be prosecuted. Or, when Trump goes and bombs the fuck out of Iran that no Americans agree with, that cost Americans $5,000 to $15,000 to go fight Israel's war. I want to apologize. Sorry, I've been a critic of that. My allegiance was apparently in the wrong place, and I just want to apologize. Or when Trump goes out there and says, "Hey, Trump, your approval ratings are the lowest it's ever been across all demographics," and Trump says, "Well, you know what? I have a 99% approval rate in Israel. I want to apologize." Well, you guys.
All right, so that was Sean's apology for his transgressions in the past. And here's the thing: is Sean has already been based, right? And let's show you guys why Sean got banned. Okay, these are all the things he said in the past now that have gotten him banned. So last week, before he got banned, he says, "I hope BB goes to UFC 250. It will set the record for the loudest public shaming ever," which it will, I believe. He then said, this was back in April, that Sean's responding to people saying Sean used to be pro-Trump. He said, "I've always been America first. When he does things that are pro-America, I support it," which there's none of that left, obviously. "When he does things I believe hurt Americans, I disagree. American trade, immigration laws, less taxes, America first. I support an ideology, not a person," just like we do. Imagine that. Then he says, of course, weighing in on the Thomas Massey race back on June 20th here, "It has nothing to do with Massey losing. That's everything to do with a foreign government and supporters lobbying $30 million to protect its foreign interests government. This is an America first. I am more committed to never vote for an APAC candidate ever again." Based. And then here's him shitting on Pete Hegseth, quoting Pete. "How much are you willing to pay to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon?" This is what Pete Hegseth was saying to the American people. Sean says, "Well, Pete, we voted for no new wars, but instead the average family is looking at about $3,000 to $5,000. It's actually about $15,000 per family at this point, so you guys know. It would have been nice if you ran on, we're going to start a war and then indirectly tax every American." So yes, these are all the things that essentially got Sean Strickland banned from attending the White House UFC event. I don't know. Seems pretty America first. Seems pretty normal. It's pretty wild that that's the type of thing that gets you banned from the White House event when you're the only American UFC champion on the entire roster. Now, let's we'll wait for the next poll. Okay, because we're going to get into there's more drama with this. Now, Sean is tripling down and has now said yesterday that after being banned, this is what he has said now. He said, apparently, I'm not American enough to go to Freedom 250, but I still have my ticket, so maybe I'll just go. I'll bring the belt and we'll stand outside the gates and let them know what we really think about Diaper Don and our greatest ally. So he has essentially quadrupled down at this point, which you love to see. All right, now, here's more apologies from Sean yesterday, where he said, "I'm sorry. Fuck, Epstein wasn't an Israeli asset. Maxwell being moved to a resort prison was a good thing and not suspicious. I've repented. I'm a good guy." So. Obviously, the comments overwhelmingly, everybody absolutely loving Sean Strickland, just zero fucks. And it doesn't seem like he's necessarily repented, as he is quadrupling down. Okay. It's great to see. Now, let's talk about the event itself, because Dana is trying to say this. Dana White has said, you've got the far right, you've got the far left, and people are thinking that this is going to be some type of political thing. The UFC event at the White House that Sean Strickland has been banned from, by the way. This is the 250th birthday of America. That's the story that we're going to tell. Now, obviously, this is fucking total bullshit. This entire thing has turned into a political disaster, obviously, with what we're seeing with Sean being banned. And that's how do I want to do this poll? All right, let's do this. Why did Sean get banned? The UFC, Dana White decided it, Trump decided it, or Bibi decided it. Now, we haven't got a guarantee, or we haven't got an actual 100% lockdown on who has banned Sean. We just know that he's been banned. Who do you think made that decision? Do you think Dana White and the UFC made that decision? Do you think Donald Trump made that decision? It's his White House. Or do you think that decision was made by our greatest ally? Could be all of the above, but we can't give you that one. Now, the story gets interesting because the UFC has stated they are not the ones that made this decision. That this decision came from essentially the White House. The reason why, according to the White House, is that Sean Strickland didn't apply for his ticket to the event in time. Let me say that again. The White House is claiming Sean Strickland, the current middleweight champion in the UFC, didn't apply for a ticket in time. Do you guys believe that? Does that story check out? The one of the champions has got to. When has a champion ever had to apply for a ticket? Now, the reason why this is the excuse they put out 3 days ago when they announced it. Well, just yesterday, the UFC announced this, that they're still inviting guests, celebrity guests. So now and it's not just Sean Strickland, Tom Aspinall also wasn't allowed to come. That's going to be an interesting one to talk about. So while Sean Strickland somehow didn't apply for this ticket in time, the UFC has now invited, look at this, Tom Brady from the Patriots, The Rock. You've got movie stars like Adam Sandler, Jared Leto, Jason Statham, and this was yesterday, by the way, alongside director Guy Ritchie and Access Hollywood's host Mario Lopez have all received invitations and tickets after Sean Strickland has been banned. Hmm. Interesting, right? It's almost like that. It's almost like that whole thing's bullshit. It's almost like that entire story's bullshit. And we all know, we obviously all know why Sean Strickland's being banned. He is very anti-Trump. He's critical of Jeffrey Epstein and Trump's involvement there. He's very anti our greatest ally. Duh, right? All right, let's hit some super chats before we jump into the drama between Justin Gaethje, one of the fighters, who has come out as a giant cuck for MAGA, and he is getting brutalized after he's tried to talk shit about Sean Strickland in this whole thing. So we'll take a look at that. Let's do some super chats here first before we fall too far behind, and then we'll jump into that beef because that's getting the memes from this are incredible, by the way. Norman, big $50 donation to kick things off. Thank you very much. Tuning in from South Carolina, brother. Hell yeah, I see a United States Marine Corps shirt on as well. Love to have you here. Thank you so much for that generosity. And I spent some time in South Carolina, I think. I mean, I lived in North Carolina for 3 years, two and a half years. I think I traveled. I don't know what I would have done in South Carolina though. I must have been there at least a few times though. Anyway, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it. Kicking off the show with some great generosity. Thank you. Real American Nomad says, happy Friday, all. Hell yeah. Happy Friday to everybody as well. Girlfriend saw my bank account and all of these super chats and said, I'm not allowed to watch live anymore. Glad I didn't marry that one. Hey, you know, sometimes you got to, I don't know, man. I appreciate the super chats, but don't piss your girlfriends or your wives off, please. Okay. Not on my behalf. Spend your money on your wives and your girlfriends before me, guys. Thank you, Juju, for kicking us off with 10 Valhalla VFT memberships and all these great picture with your golden retriever and your little kitty there. All right. Protection spell for that. We're going to need it. This one's going to need some flags in the chat. Forgot our background. We don't have one of the flags up, but we definitely will for this one tonight. Have you seen the slander against Graham? I have. Women have supposedly dated now. Recall on Southern Beach. They're bringing out all of these stops against Graham, aren't they? We're going to do a full episode on this. Go through it. Yeah. So what they can't do is criticize his policy. So they're attempting pretty much every slander attack you can possibly find. We saw this with Thomas Massey. So nothing shocking here. Like when they can't stop a candidate, they always resort to this. Honestly, it's just making him more popular, which is crazy. None of the attacks are working. The only thing they're trying to get him on is that what he things he's said online and like comments he's made to women 15 years ago or something. Like that's all they got. Like there's no, as far as I see, no domestic violence, no crimes, no nothing. Just he said some inappropriate things about jerking off in a porta potty in Iraq. It's like, yeah, guess what? I've made those same jokes, just like every combat veteran in the world has 100 times. Guys, all the veterans in the chat that have ever been in downrange, isn't that a rite of passage? Isn't making cranking hog in the porta potty, like, aren't those jokes a rite of passage? Like somehow that's a hit piece on a Marine? On a Marine making jokes about cranking hog in a porta potty, that's supposed to be your big hit piece? I don't know. Tough sell. It's not something I haven't heard from every Marine I've ever been around in my entire life. So anyway, that's the best they got. It's pretty rough out here. All right. Erika just wanted to go home. Look, guys, we don't know. Like, I know people are saying it's not true, but do not put it past the UFC and Donald Trump to have her show up. I almost guarantee she'll be at the event. If she turns out hosting it, we'll see. But don't put it past them. Corey, hit the like always, brother. A bit off topic, but wanted to ask for a prayer. Okay, we could definitely do that. Tabitha, our family cat, passed away since the last stream. That's horrible to hear. The kids and I are messed up over it. Thankfully, had this to look forward to. Yeah, let's we can definitely say a prayer for you and the family, Corey. Honestly, losing an animal for most of us is like losing a child, especially for the kids. So that's terrible to hear. Sorry about that. And hope you guys are doing okay, man. Because, yeah, I know, dude, for me, like just catastrophic to lose any of our fur babies. You know what I mean? So, yes, prayers for you and the family and for Tabitha. That's always the worst. Okay. So thank you, though. Appreciate you, Corey. All right, one more, and then let's jump back into the show. Strickland Valhalla VFT for 2028. Rhino, thank you for the big donation, brother. Could you guys imagine that ticket? Could you imagine a Sean Strickland Nate ticket? Oh my God. We both get schwacked, that's for sure. They would not be letting that ticket make it to the end. Oh my God. We would go hard. We would go hard in the paint for sure. There's buffering. Yeah. Hey, make sure you refresh. If you got buffering issues, make sure you refresh. It's most likely a browser issue. All right. that would be pretty wild. Okay. Let's talk about the actual drama here. Because man, Justin, if you're a fan of the UFC, obviously you know who Justin Gaethje is. I do like Justin Gaethje. I always have as a fighter, but oh my God, he has just destroyed his brand and destroyed himself as he's attacking Sean Strickland now over Sean Strickland's criticism of our greatest ally, which let's take a look at the back and forth here. Justin Gaethje talking shit about Sean Strickland for the things he's saying about Donald Trump and MAGA and Israel. Justin says, I'm American, bitch. I don't need or want a coward support. You and Sean are relentlessly dumb as fuck. And we'll look at some comments here. As we could, before we get too deep into it, we can immediately check the comment section. Top comment, almost 20,000 likes. Sean is a real American. Next one, Sean W. button. Next one. And this is going everywhere now. Justin Gaethje with 13,000 likes. Yes, we all support Sean against the you-know-whos. Sean's becoming my favorite fighter. Sean ain't wrong. Praying for Ilya to KO you. You're a sellout. I mean, it's this did not go well for Justin, all right? And then here's Sean's response. And again, guys, get those flags out in the chat. This is a very flag-heavy. Let's make sure before we cover this on this episode, of course, I just want everybody to understand we love Israel. Israel is the greatest country in the world. Bibi Netanyahu is our daddy. We love Bibi Netanyahu. We love Israel. We support everything they're doing, right? So let's make sure we really hammer that home for the YouTube algorithm before we jump into what we're going to talk about next, okay? Right. So the algorithm understands, God, we love Israel. God, we love Israel. Man. All right. We are Zionists to the core. Everything about Israel we love. Okay, great. Now let's actually jump into what we're going to talk about. All right. So Sean's response, you're a real good goy. Clapping emojis. Time to switch your flag to you know who. And then says, if being a spineless bitch makes you a good American, you can have that title. Eat your goy slop. Just do me a favor and switch your flag. $5K to $15K cost to every hardworking American not getting paid millions. 13 dead Americans for our greatest ally. Traitor. Well, that's pretty rough. And then Justin tries to respond, I don't give two shits about you or them. God, family, country since day one. You are dumb. Excuse me, as if you bash our country every chance you get. Sean Strickland never bashes America, by the way. Really fucking dumb by Justin to comment on this. And expect to step foot on the White House grounds, have a party with the rest of your America-hating goons. That's us, the America Firsters. We are the American-hating goons, according to, unfortunately, MAGA cuck Justin Gaethje. And then Sean responds, you hate America? Did your handle give you that line? I love America, and I criticize this administration because everyone on this earth understands he is controlled by AIPAC. Correct. Iran will have nukes in the next month, 20 years ago. Sarcasm. I have the list on my desk. Just stop, etc. So, as you can see, obviously, this did not go well for Justin Gaethje at all. And so much so that Sean just posted this last night. And I believe this is true. And it says, you savages bullied Justin Gaethje so hard, he has now disabled his comments on Twitter. Do you feel good about yourselves? And as you can see, the memes have been viscerally brutal on Justine Goichi, as he is now being referred to. So rough times for Justin. But at the same time, you know, you kind of walked into it, bro. Like this ain't it in 2026. You've got to understand that this is a brand destroyer right here. And as you can see, I mean, it's everywhere you look. Spineless. Where's the, I have another one from one of the big, oh, here's another one here. Yes. Justin Goichi's. Like it's, the internet's having a field day. Here's another one. Here's a picture of Justin knocked out from Ilia Topuria, who's going to fight as his daddy's look on in the White House. And this is everywhere, guys. Everywhere you look is him just taking an absolutely brutal beating from this. Now, one of the things we have seen is BB has announced that he is making some requirements for the show, for the UFC fight. And he is forcing Donald Trump to be involved in the show. And we actually have a clip from, well, I guess I'll just show you guys how they are going to utilize Donald Trump for the advertising of the UFC event. So here it is. This is Donald Trump being put to work.
Wow, this is so weird. What the hell is Trump doing? And look at BB. He's loving every second of this. I'm astonished. Sean Strickland was 100% right. I might lose my job after this, but ladies and gentlemen, our nation has fallen.
So they will be putting Trump to work as a ring girl for the show, it turns out. So at least he will be participating and be involved in the show. But yes, he will be a ring girl for BB on this one. Now, one thing I wanted to show, this was from way back. I believe this was like 2024. This is just great because now this is Sean and Trump together, obviously long past this pivot. But I just want to notice the height because every time I love to show you guys Donald Trump claiming to be 6'3". Do you guys know how tall Sean Strickland is? Sean Strickland is 6'1", and he is about 3 to 4 inches taller than Donald Trump. Just saying. I don't know how many times we have to show you that Donald Trump is 5'9", claiming to be 6'3", but you know, just another one of 1,000 examples of that I have shown you guys. Just you know, lying about his height by about 5 inches. So anyway, a little irrelevant there, but all right. Now, some UFC fighters have obviously weighed in on this. One of the ones who is also quite based is Bryce Mitchell, and here's what he had to say when he was asked about this.
See that Sean Strickland got banned from the White House for talking about Israel?
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, freedom of speech is what really makes this country great. And when you can't criticize a foreign nation, come on, man, we ought to be able to criticize our own nation, let alone a foreign nation. In fact, that's the only nation you're not allowed to criticize, so something's going to change because evil empires don't last forever. There's always a rebellion. You ever seen Star Wars? That's what's going to happen, bro. Darth Vader's going to get took down.
Darth Vader being, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe BB, maybe Trump. But I mean, obviously, Bryce Mitchell can be pretty far out there on some things, but nailed it on that one. Yeah. You're not allowed to I mean, you can criticize your own government, sort of, for now, but you can't criticize that government. Isn't that interesting? Now, let's talk a little bit more about this event in general, because if you haven't seen this absolute disaster pretty much destroyed the entire White House grounds. That is the UFC event. Trump is now saying that he is considering making it permanent and is comparing it to the Eiffel Tower. Yes, here's him showcasing his little craned event here. And as we can see it, this is what he's considering right in front of the White House, by the way. So if you show up to, see the White House for your first time, you're just going to see this massive clusterfuck. All the lawn is completely ripped out and destroyed. And yes, Donald Trump is considering leaving it, as again, he has compared it to the Eiffel Tower. And we'll take a look at that here.
The Eiffel Tower, 1889 it was built. It was supposed to be taken down immediately after the World's Fair. And then they said, we sort of like it. Let's leave it up a little bit longer. And then they said, let's leave it up longer and longer and longer. Well, they never took it down. And, we're building something in front of the White House that's quite attractive to a lot of people. It's going to have the big UFC fight on June 14th. And I'm looking at it, and maybe we'll never, ever take it down. So,
yay. Great. This is, This is going to be the part of the White House, I guess, to go with the ballroom. Now, another thing that's pretty wild with this is the fact that this fight is outdoors in Washington, D.C. in the summer. And what they're already seeing is that basically the entire area is infested with gnats. So that is going to be an absolute shit show for the fighters who are trying to fight outdoors and doing so with gnats in their face as they're trying to breathe and fight. And even Dana said this.
Especially on the East Coast, bugs.
Yeah.
So President Trump just opened the Rose Garden 2 nights ago, and he invited me to dinner there.
Yep.
The amount of gnats that were flying around, I'm like, holy shit. As soon as I got on the plane, I called my head of production and said, yeah, let me tell you about the gnat situation tonight. So when you're a fighter, think about that lighting grid, the claw that we're going to have, the amount of power in the lights, moths, gnats, and God knows what else. Fighters trying to deal with that.
Yeah.
So
you remember Jabba Chamberlain? Remember the Yankee game where the pitcher was pitching, came in for like the save, and the gnats were flying all over his face and his eyes, and he threw the game. You got to see the footage of it.
These are all the things I think about, and I never knew that.
I also, the comment section of these are great. Great. As you see the top comment over here, it says, it'll also be infested with pedophiles. But yes, why the fuck would you have a fight outdoors? Doesn't make any sense. But again, it's all for, again, Donald Trump and Bibi. So now, I do find it interesting. This is just kind of an aside of talking about how Sean Strickland will be banned from this UFC event as the only American champion. But we also have this going on at the White House as well. So there's this. This is the White House 46 archived, as you see. Second gentleman met with the Jewish White House staff in celebration of Jewish American Heritage Month. This is just the White House staff that are Jewish. Now, is there anything wrong with that? Not necessarily. However, when we think about population demographics, and we think about in America that only about 1% of the population is Jewish. However, this has got to be what, 90% of the White House staff? It's just that the statistics of this are very, very odd. You know what I mean? Hundreds? This has got to be over 100 people. And this is just the White House staff. Again, I mean, just things to think about. You know, it's pretty, not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying it just doesn't really seem like those, statistically, that makes sense. Now, I've kind of thought about this. And why do we really think Sean Strickland was banned? Well, I think what a lot of people haven't really clued into is, where is the UFC event? What platform is it being streamed on? Do you guys know? What platform is the UFC now being streamed on? And this is pretty new for the UFC. They just swapped over recently. Nope, not Fox, not Fox. Anybody know? Paramount. That's right, Paramount Plus. Now, what is something that we know about Paramount? Who recently bought Paramount? Oh, that's right. Larry Ellison, and then gave it to his son, David Ellison, to be the CEO of. Huh. Now, what is something interesting about, again, the Ellisons? What's an interesting thing about the Ellisons? Well, Larry Ellison just happens to be the #1 independent financial donor to the IDF. Huh. It's almost like there's some correlation here that, the people that are streaming the service are owned by a guy who just happens to be the #1 independent donor to the IDF. It's almost like maybe that has something to do with the fact that Sean Strickland has been banned. Again, I don't know. I'm just right. We're working through this together, right? We're looking at the options, seeing what we think. But if I had to guess, I would say there's probably a decent chance that that's the reason why. Now, what did our poll say? What did our poll say when we talked about this? Let me go back to that real quick here, because I know we polled who we thought was responsible for this. All right, what's the poll say? It's not pulling up my numbers for me. What did we end up on, guys? My on my polls on my end for some reason not showing up. What did we poll? What did we figure out on who was responsible? What did we say in the poll? 70%. Yeah. When you factor in obviously Paramount and our greatest ally and all that ties and involvement, I think we've got that one figured out pretty easily, huh? Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, there we go. I got it back now. Yes, 70%. Yep. Well, again, I would probably agree. Looks like a pretty good combination of that. But I will say, it's actually made Sean Strickland. He was already popular. Here's the thing that's great. Sean Strickland is one of my favorite fighters and was already one of my favorite fighters long before this. So I love to see it. You love to see one of your favorite fighters then also take the correct ideologies when it comes to outside fighting. But I digress. So his popularity is going to go to the moon now because of this, obviously, because he is now standing. Well, he has been standing up. We've seen I showed his posts from months and months and months ago. But yeah, his popularity is going to skyrocket. Justin Gaethje's is going to go into the absolute abyss. But yeah. Hold on, let's see where I need to get back to here. Oh, okay. Next, okay, we've worked our way through the UFC part of the show. Still plenty of more OAV to talk about. I'll tell you that. But next, we got to talk about a little bit of new evidence in the Charlie Kirk trial. Supposedly changes everything. All right, so we're going to get to that in the next part of the show. Let's do a few super chats before we do that. Way cute. Hopefully, we're talking about Munchkin here. Tacked it out. Cat Force 1. Yeah. You take Mortal Man, put him in control, watch him become a god, and people's heads roll. Mustang, the prophetic words of metal. Okay. Will Erika Kirk's boyfriend be there? I have heard. I have heard about her new boyfriend. I don't know enough about it yet. We've been looking for confirmation on that. Lonely Triceratops looking for a Tricerabottom. Okay. Also, though, great picture of your cat playing the bagpipes. Munchkin's freaking adorable. So is your cats. Yeah. All right, a couple more here. Wars Rack says before September 10th, we had no idea who Erika Kirk was, and now she's forced on us. How desperate is our government's Freudian slip? I mean, the United States. Yeah, it has been shoved down our throats, huh? Bays, what's up, Bays? Says, about to send you a video. Erika Kirk got called out by Dan Bongino got called out Dan Bongino style while on stage. It's great. Shout to our top allies for sending it to me. All right, let's check. See what Bays sent me. Where'd you send it to me, Bays? I don't have a text from you. Did you send it to me on Instagram? Oh, it's on Instagram. Hold on. All right, let me pull this up from Bays real quick. He said we've got. Oh shit, I'm on. Let's see, how do I do this here? No. I'm stuck on Munchkin's profile right now. All right, we'll figure that out later. We'll figure that out. Now we actually kind of need to figure it out now. Hold on. Let me let me send this. I'll send it to Munchkin. Munchkin's got her own Instagram, guys, so sometimes I'm logged into that one. All right, here we go. Let's pull this up and see what Bay's got us. All right, let's see. Before we jump in, we are going to talk about the Charlie Kirk case, so why not? Why not pull up this clip from Erika? I haven't seen this yet, so let's see what Bay sent us here. All right, Erika Kirk somehow maybe getting shit talked on stage. Let's see what we got.
And it's important to remember that happiness comes and goes. It is so fleeting. But the joy of the Lord withstands all.
Oh my. Wow. Whoa.
It's important to remember that happiness comes and goes, and I pray that you find it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, standing and cheering is not going to help. You're already cooked.
Love you guys. Faithfulness gives life meaning.
Let's one more time.
But the joy of the Lord withstands all.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Oh, hey, Erika, it's time to go home. Fucking wrap it up, dude. Wrap it up and send it home. You're fucking cooked. You're done. You're fucking done. When people are screaming that shit at you while you're trying to. Oh my God. She did get Bongino'd. Baze was right. I don't think that's AI, guys. That looked pretty authentic. That looked pretty authentic. She looked pretty pissed, and then watching the crowd try to rally behind her. Wow. Brutal, dude. Okay. Anyway. Time to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up, Erika. You're fucking cooked. Anyway, okay. That was pretty wild. What did they scream? They screamed Erika Kirk protects pedophiles is what they screamed. So if you didn't hear that, yeah, Erika Kirk protects pedophiles is what she was screaming. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to talk about the new supposed evidence that they have on Tyler Robinson. Yes, Tyler Robinson, who supposedly admitted to everything. Anyway, our buddy Dan over at Heady Duty Country covered this, so we're going to use his video for this. But yes, this is the new evidence that is blowing the case wide open. Let's take a watch.
A crazy number of updates when it comes to Charlie Kirk, and we're just going to dive right in because it's getting wild. It's getting wild in terms of both, is the Charlie Kirk assassination a cover-up, and two, is Tyler Robinson really the guy, and three, what is Tyler Robinson doing in court? So first, we have an alleged Charlie Kirk assassin, Tyler Robinson, wrote a handwritten letter admitting to killing Charlie Kirk. According to newly unsealed court documents, the search warrant affidavit says Robinson sent his boyfriend a text that read, "Drop what you were doing and look under my keyboard." Underneath the keyboard was allegedly a handwritten note that read the following: "If you are reading this per my text, then I am sorry. I left the house this morning on a
All right, I gotta say right out the gate, the idea that this kid decides to go through with this, let's hypothetically say it's Tyler Robinson. Well, no, this isn't new news because it's now been drummed up in the court. The court has now unsealed this as evidence. Okay, and we're going to get more into the fact that this evidence doesn't actually exist anymore, but the FBI is saying it used to exist. But it doesn't exist anymore because it was destroyed, but you still need to trust us that it used to exist. Well, let's just think about this. This kid decides to go and pull this whole thing off, right? He's Gen Z, by the way, leaves a handwritten note and hides it under his keyboard at his computer. But then texts his boyfriend on the phone, which he probably could have just texted his boyfriend and admitted it over the phone, to go check under the keyboard so that he can read the admittance of him carrying this crime out, because that's what 21-year-old kids that are Gen Z do. This is very theatrical. It sounds right out the gate. It sounds super legit. Trust me, the story gets way worse. It gets way dumber. But this is just the start. Okay. Now let's look at where this has turned into now with Kash Patel, talking about how they used to have it, but now it's destroyed. But still, you got to trust us that we did at one point have it. This physical note that they don't have anymore, but also it needs to be evidence. So let's take a watch.
All right. Next, Charlie Kirk's assassination. Kash Patel says Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, left behind a manifesto that was destroyed, but FBI can forensically prove its existence.
Written note? Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So what I'm able to say, I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying the suspect wrote a note saying, "I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
So that's the new evidence to the case. You can't make this up. Okay, so this is the new evidence that the court is saying that they have that changes everything. And that is that there is, I don't know what could possibly be, the FBI has forensic evidence that proves that a note that is now destroyed that they don't have, but they can prove that that note at one point did exist through the interviewing process. Where did it go? Where did it? So you're telling me, FBI, at one point, you had a handwritten note, because we all heard that story back in the day, right? Like somebody said earlier, this is old news. Yeah, the handwritten note under the keyboard, that was old news. We got told, like, we've seen TPUSA, everybody's talked about it, right? He already admitted to his boyfriend. He admitted to his boyfriend. Well, now the FBI is saying, we don't actually have it. It was destroyed. But we do have forensic evidence that it did exist at one point. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? This is the new evidence that's groundbreaking for the trial. Is that the FBI can forensically maybe show that a note was written at one point that was then destroyed. But I'm not sure how they're going to. Yeah, the dog ate my homework. This is essentially the new evidence. They don't even care anymore. They're just like, fuck it, dude. That's the new evidence, guys, in this case. That's going to. I just don't understand how we're at this point. Right? Is that have you ever heard anything that fucking dumb? And also think about, that's not the only thing that's disappeared in this case, evidence-wise. Okay, what are some big things that have disappeared? Okay, well, this one is huge. This entire thing, TPUSA has run, like you've heard all of the TPUSA cucks, all of the same ones. We all know who they are that have been fighting the FBI narrative is the official story. This is what they've been leaning everything on. Tyler Robinson admitted it to his boyfriend. How many times have we heard that, right? We've heard that story 1,000 times. That proves everything. He admitted it. He admitted it. He admitted it. Okay, now his admittance is fucking gone. It was destroyed, but we promised, we promised we saw it, though. We don't know where it is. Where did it go? How do you lose? That's like the most important evidence in the entire trial, right? You have a handwritten admittance to the murder from the murderer, and it got destroyed? How? Who destroyed it? Did the FBI destroy it? What, how is that? And think about this isn't the only one. Think about what else was also miraculously lost. Also, all of the footage, all of the video footage of Tyler Robinson coming into the sheriff's department to turn himself in, that footage has all been lost as well. They don't know where it is. How could we lose so much evidence? This is the most controversial case I think America has seen since JFK. And we just happen to lose all the most important evidence to the case, but also at the same time, you got to trust us because we can forensically prove that it was there at one point. I don't know how you're going to use that in court. Where they're going to put that before the jury? Hey, check this out. Look, he admitted to it at one point. He wrote it down, but we lost it. But we can forensically prove at one point before we lost it that it was real. It's pretty wild out here, guys. Things are getting pretty wild. I guess that's the new, and again, you heard the groundbreaking new evidence that's bringing forward. That's it. That's the new groundbreaking evidence, is that they don't actually have Tyler Robinson admitting to committing the crime now. All they have is Kash Patel saying at one point they had some type of evidence that he admitted to it. So that's wild. Anyway, so that's an update so far on the new evidence to the Tyler Robinson trial. Big yikes. Big yikes. So not looking good for the prosecution, as we all know. Now, all right, so that's our big update there. Next, we are going to get into, well, Donald Trump fell asleep again. Sounds like he ripped ass while asleep. And we're going to play those clips. And then we're going to talk about how this ties into Iran. Because, yes, the war's back on, but it's also not back on because we're not allowed to continue the war because Congress actually officially voted to block Donald Trump from war powers. We're also talking about how the Strait of Hormuz sounds like it won't be open until potentially next year, which sounds like is going to create a massive global depression, most likely a worldwide famine. So we got that going for us. I did. We're going to look at that clip. All right. So next, we're gonna take a look at Sleepy Trump in the next clip. Let's hit some supers real quick before that. Got to end the intro with Munchkin with MVGs. We are looking for. We're working on a new, not intro for the live streams, but intro to my regular videos. Possibly with something like that. Much is awesome, but your fam is awesome. Well, thank you, Blue Eyed Hillbilly. Thanks for being here. You're here a little bit early tonight. Usually you tune in a little bit late. Buff like Jesus. Oh, I got all your stickers. I got your patches. God damn it, I didn't bring them out here. We got some new hilarious patches that Buff sent me that I'm going to show you guys. Some Wang Gang ones, some other ones that are super funny. I did get them, bro. I forgot to bring them out to the studio though, so we'll show them on the next show. Thank you very much, homie. All right, Joe says, will DJT show up to the UFC event? Of course he will be. Of course he will be. He'll be in the ballroom. You know he's going to be there. It's at the White House. All right, two more. Savage says, I'm full-on leftist who likes Strickland and Bryce Mitchell. Well, there you go. You know Sean's getting popular when he's got leftists that are fans of him for sure. That's awesome. Thank you, brother. And then John says, hypothetical psyop situation. BB shows up to the UFC event, gets a round placed inside him. Suddenly we all have to be sad for piss real, gets unlimited funds, and even more influence cycle continues. Am I crazy to think it? No. I've talked about this multiple times. I think the White House UFC event, the odds of a false flag are extremely high, extremely high, especially with the new war powers blocking Donald Trump from continuing his silly little excursion in Iran. I would not be surprised to see them need some excuses for that. Now, first off, we got to take a look at this. This is how we got to lead it, because this is hilarious, because Marco Rubio got grilled on this yesterday, which is old Trumpster falling asleep. And let's listen to his response. And then today, well, of course, Marco's interview did not age well here. Here we go.
Never seen him fall asleep. The guy doesn't sleep, which is a big problem because he calls me at 2 a.m. He calls me at 5 a.m. And, I like to sleep
Trump
a little
is
bit.
sleeping
12
right
hours,
next
but
to you.
I've never seen him fall asleep. The guy.
So Marco Rubio was asked before Congress about Donald Trump constantly falling asleep during briefings. Marco Rubio claims he's never seen Donald Trump fall asleep. Well, unfortunately for Marco, just one day later, this happened. And we're going to use Keith's video here. He does have it named Trump had a stroke on camera. I don't know about a stroke, but we are going to watch him completely racked out in this new video today.
Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Thank you, Lee Zeldin.
It's just, come on.
Let's back up a little bit. Something funny there.
History. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Thank you, Lee Zeldin.
It's just, come on.
History. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Thank you.
He can barely talk.
I remember, it doesn't really happen to me now, but when I was in high school and I didn't get enough sleep, and for some reason, kids want to sleep a lot and they make us wake up very early, get up at 6 a.m. when like your body just wants you to sleep so you can grow. I'd be in the middle class at 12, 1 p.m. How when it's warm and it's so warm, you're just it just makes you want to fall asleep. And you're kind of aware of what's going on, but not really. And when you wake up, you're you can kind of have a sense of what was happening, but that's what this was. He was out. He was out. All right. So, but what's interesting is that he literally did pass out, and friend of the channel, a doctorate in physical therapy, epistemic crisis, is alleging that the president actually had a stroke on camera.
Don Snorleone had a stroke on fucking camera yesterday. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience working at home. Sorry.
He's just racked, dude. Look at him.
I can't even get through my credentials. Anyways.
Of a job.
Look at him.
An economy, a community, a family. And for too long.
So here's why I believe this is a stroke-like event or a stroke on camera Or within this 7-day period where he made no public appearances, he suffered a stroke and they were trying to get him to recover enough to go back on camera. Number one is this posture. I've had so many stroke patients over the years that the stroke has affected the strength and the tone of the muscles on one side of their trunk, and they cannot maintain upright posture. But when he's very fatigued and falling asleep, he's going to lean to one side.
Ministry. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Thank you, Lee Zeldin.
That right there was the worst instance of expressive aphasia, a common symptom of left-sided stroke on the left side of the brain where your language centers are, I have ever seen from him to date. Did you hear him mumble through those words?
Oh, so he's alleging that that thing that I said was just him waking up. Could have been the sign of a stroke.
And then he follows it up with good. He reaches for a very simple word because he knows I can't fucking talk right now. Expressive aphasia is different from phonemic paraphasia, which is a typical dementia symptom. But he's got dementia and a history of stroke. So it's kind of fucking tough to tell sometimes. But that sounded like expressive aphasia. Now, in this next clip, I want you to watch his jaw slightly shift left and right. The more that his jaw shifts to his right, the more asleep he is because he has right-sided facial droop from a history of stroke. And his jaw is becoming weaker and more slack-jawed also because of dementia. But you can literally see his jaw slip in and out of awake, asleep, awake, asleep.
Oh, my God, look at him. Oh my God! Look at that. Oh.
Oh my God.
It shouldn't be funny.
Oh no.
He's out, dude. Oh my God.
Wow.
I am so delighted because this is the worst I have ever seen him. And I can't wait for it to get fucking worse.
Well, that's
at this point, he's on 43 days of borrowed time. Who did
actually think there's some
look at this picture. He's just fucking all of these people semicircled around him briefing, and he's just blatantly racked out asleep in his chair. Holy shit, dude. Like, could you imagine Joe Biden like this? Oh my God. Vegetable Dawn. Oh my God, dude. Anyway, so to Marco Rubio's point. Now, I don't know. Then there's this one. Check this out. This is from the same clip. All right, here we go. Turn your volume up a little bit.
Working through all the permitting to drive towards that so that we can be selling clean, reliable energy to our allies in the Pacific who want to do more trade with us. And lastly, again, thank you for creating the national energy. Again.
Let's play that one more time. All right.
And working through all the permitting to drive towards that so that we can be selling clean, reliable energy to our allies in the Pacific who want to do more trade with us. And lastly, again, thank you for creating the national energy. Again,
what is with the Trump administration, dude? Just zero fucks, man. Just that. This guy's in charge of the free world, by the way. Just asleep, shit in his pants on TV. Oh my God. Okay. Now, why is this scary? Well, because this guy is literally in charge of the United States as we're trying to figure out and avoid World War III at the moment. And yeah, here's this as of a couple hours ago, 7 hours ago. So from the Hormuz letter here, breaking. Iran says negotiations have now fallen apart completely, seizing all messaging channels with the seizing all messaging channels with the United States following new U.S. strikes on commercial vessels in southern Iran and the ongoing Israeli military's invasion of southern Lebanon. Turns out they did not adhere to the ceasefire. Go figure. Iran also says talks were already fully deadlocked over the U.S. refusing to release $24 billion in frozen funds with nuclear concessions in return. Iran is also rejecting all Arabi's claims today that Iran has agreed to transfer part of its enriched uranium to a third country, calling it incorrect, with nuclear discussions being fundamentally not in the current negotiation agenda. So, what that means is there are no negotiations at all. Zero. We are done with peace talks. We are done with ceasefires. Yeah. So now why is that important? Because at the same time that's happening, this finally happened. The House, for the first time, passes a resolution to halt military action against Iran in rebuke of Trump's war. So the measure passed 215 to 208, with 4 Republicans finally joining Democrats to push it across the line. Now, it still would have to get through the Senate, which I imagine it never will. Excuse me one second, guys. Sorry. Allergies in Oregon. But what this means is potentially Donald Trump won't be able to use any military action against Iran. So now what? The Strait of Hormuz is closed. We can do nothing. The global economy continues to tank. Gas prices continue to skyrocket. And then what? Now what? Now what do we do? We're just fucked? Because everybody's just fucked? The global economy is just fucked and there's nothing anybody can do about it now? Yeah, he'll be able to veto it for sure. But if that'll just send it back to Congress. And then if Congress passes it again, that's it. I guess what do? We just, yeah, so this is probably, this becomes more and more and more likely in this situation, right? So I guess Iran becomes a superpower. And yeah. Now they're talking about this being a thing. Oil executives are talking about oil potentially hitting upwards of $180 a barrel by the end of summer once strategic reserves start to run out, which they are getting desperately low. If the strait doesn't open, which it looks like the strait is not going to open potentially ever again. So that ain't good, ladies and gentlemen. That's really, really bad for everybody. Not for Iran, but it's really bad for all of us. And maybe essentially probably what we have to wait for is for Trump to leave office and for a new American president that can come in and then try to reach new diplomatic relations with Iran. And then maybe have a decent relationship that way. But I don't see at this point, Iran, why would Iran open the strait? Why would Iran concede to anything? There's no reason for them to, especially now, especially if the War Powers Act gets shot down, or excuse me, if it gets passed. It's not looking good. I have no idea where we go from there. And this was Donald Trump's response to Congress. He says, yesterday in a meaningless vote, yeah, we'll see. The House voted for bad Republicans and all of the Democrats. I told you guys he was going to use it from now on to limit my war powers right in the middle of my final negotiations to end the war. Yeah, final negotiations, right? Who would do such an unpatriotic thing? They know where the negotiations stand. Okay. The Democrats are fueled by Trump derangement syndrome. They would rather have our country fail than give me another mini victories. The 4 Republicans, that's a whole nother story. They're grandstanders. They should be ashamed of themselves. MAGA, President Donald J. Trump. So, well, we'll see if it turns out to be a meaningless vote. And I'm not really sure if we were in the final negotiations. It didn't really feel like we were close. According to Iran, we definitely were close. But this is very, very important. This comment that Joe Kent, is responding to by Trump. And we were talking about false flags and the UFC event, all sorts of different things. This is going to tie directly into it because, like Joe Kent said here yesterday, Trump reportedly says the only way he'll restart the war is if Americans are killed by Iranians. Hours later, the FDD breathlessly argues why we need to leave our troops within range of Iranian missiles and drones. Does the FDD want our troops to be bait, or do they not understand how warfare has evolved? So this is a very scary comment by Trump. He'll only restart the war if Americans are killed. Well, we know he's desperate to restart the war. And if that's the only way, that gets a little scary, because that means there you go. The only way we restart this is with a little bit of incentive with dead Americans. We don't like that. Yeah, we don't like that, right? Don't like to hear him saying stuff like that, because it's pretty obvious what that means. Now, at the same time, Donald Trump is already rephrasing what these things mean. Also, just look at the dementia in the eyes here. The dementia in the eyes is wild. You can start to see he can't even see straight. His eyes don't even look in the same directions anymore. But Trump has just redefined what ceasefire means. So now, potentially, actually, we don't have to cut off attacking Iran. We just change what the word means, and that's what he did.
Pretty much the way it is. It's a different part of the world. You know, I'd say in that part of the world, ceasefire is when you're shooting in a more moderate manner. It's not bad, but it's true. I mean, it's a ceasefire there is much different than a ceasefire in other parts of the world. Yeah.
There you go. So the word ceasefire means something different in the Middle East. What it means is less extreme firing on each other. Less extreme firing. So we've just changed what the word ceasefire means. So now what it means is you just don't bomb each other as much. You still do it, right? We're still bombing each other, but just not as much. Okay, that's what ceasefire means now. So again, you can just rewrite things. Now, again, keep in mind, remember we just covered this on Tuesday. Donald Trump saying that he has convinced Bibi to stop all of their attacks in Lebanon, right? Well, as of yesterday, Bibi says Israel will continue its operations in Lebanon despite ceasefire announced by Donald Trump. So, whoa, no way, guys. That's crazy. No way. Just one day later, after that supposed phone call, right, where Trump called Netanyahu crazy and told him that he was done in Lebanon, just 24 hours later, Bibi comes out and says, no, we will not be adhering to that ceasefire. And there's nothing that you, Donald Trump in the United States, can fucking do about it. But at the same time, you need to keep paying for our bombs so that we can bomb Lebanon. It's amazing. You know what's amazing is they couldn't do any of this without us paying for it. And it seems like so simple if we had a president that could just say, hey, fuckers, if you don't stop, all the money gets turned off. And you don't get any more bombs. And you don't get us to protect you anymore. Seems like it would be that easy. Like literally that easy. I don't think it would take any more than that by itself. Just, hey, the money printer turns off if you don't stop. But we can't do that, can we? We can't do that. Now, our greatest ally is also throwing a little temper tantrum about what's happening in Lebanon because Lebanese are fighting back, and that's not fair. Let's take a look at that. Kyle Kalinske covered this from our greatest ally crying about this at the UN. Oh, my bad. 1 second. Pull this over here. All right, here we go.
Lebanon. The IDF has illegally invaded Lebanon. Like, they went in there. By the way, they're wiping out cities and towns left and right, just like they did in Gaza, where they bombed every building known to man. It's like 95% of the buildings are just totally wiped out. It literally, people are talking about places in Gaza in the past tense. That's how bad it is, right? Like, it was total annihilation, ethnic cleansing, genocide. Now they're doing that in Lebanon, And the Israelis have the nerve to go to the UN and complain.
Yep.
Like, bro, can you believe we're starting a fight and they're fighting back? You're not allowed to fight back. You have to sit there and take it. You need to sit there and die. And if you don't, then I'm going to go complain to the UN. Like, the thought of the Israelis going to the international community and being like, can you believe these people doing this? You're the government of Israel. You're the ones where, like, all of your top officials are wanted for war crimes. Now all of a sudden you care about international law? Like, you have got to be kidding me. All right, listen to this. Here we go.
This is an example of a drone used by Hezbollah. This is what we are dealing with. Now, Hezbollah are using different kinds of drones. Few of them with fiber optic. These drones weigh less than 2 kilograms. It flies low. It is very difficult to detect. And by the time you hear it above your head, it's too late. It can fly undetected for tens of miles.
Tens of miles.
And all of a sudden you...
So anyway, they're there sitting there crying that they're using drones from Walmart to try to defend themselves, while your government is carpet bombing civilian populaces with American munitions. Seems a little lopsided to be fucking complaining about, don't you think? Just saying. I mean, seems like you guys are using a lot more powerful shit on civilian populaces than some Walmart drones. But again, somehow, always the victims. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? No matter what situation they're in, they're always the victim. Now, this is a clip from Fuentes, very good clip, talking about why our greatest ally will never, ever, ever adhere to this ceasefire. And again, you know, I know a lot of people don't like Nick, but sometimes, of course, Nick cooks, and he nails it on this one.
You realize there's going to be no ceasefire in Iran. There's going to be no ceasefire in Lebanon, because it is Israel's imperative to not let this window of opportunity close.
Facts.
I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it would require a tremendous amount of willpower from the United States restraining Israel to hold all of this together. And I don't know that that's even possible. I think at the minimum, it's extremely unlikely. Probably more likely than not, it's impossible.
Yep.
So that is where we stand with the war in Iran. These are, again, some of the dynamics as it concerns the other matters. You know, once again, let's just say this. The U.S. says, open the strait the way it was before the war. Iran is saying, no, it's ours and we're charging a toll.
Yep.
Now, if Iran tells us no, what can we do to change their mind? The answer is nothing.
Right. Yep.
If Iran says the strait is ours and we're charging a toll, what can we do to convince them otherwise? The answer is nothing. We can do nothing militarily. We can do nothing economically that we haven't already done. What can we realistically do? And how much time do we have to do it? If we don't get the strait open by July, you're talking about a global economic meltdown. Like, it's not even funny.
Yep.
This cannot go on another month or 2 months. So if the hope on the side of the Trump administration is we're going to wait them out, we don't have another month. We don't have 2 more months to wait for them to come to the table. And they know that, and we know that, and they know we know that, and they know we know they know that. So there's no bluffing here. There's no trickery. There's no deceit here.
Yep.
It's cards on the table. We need a deal. They know we need a deal. They have all the leverage. So if we say we want freedom of navigation and they say we want to collect money off of it, guess which one is going to happen? They're going to collect money off of it, whether we like it or not. And the same goes for the highly enriched uranium.
Yep.
We say you need to give us all your highly enriched uranium. What are they going to say? Sure thing. You just tried to destroy and invade us. But yeah, bring your cargo planes and transport planes. We want American boots on the ground, taking our pride and joy, which is our nuclear capability. I mean, under what scenario is that going to happen? It just isn't.
Nope.
The best you're going to get is the IAEA will verify that the stockpile has been diluted. But even that, I mean, maybe there's some wiggle room on that. Rubio seemed to allude to this. Will they give up enrichment? I don't think so.
Nope. So, I mean, great clip. Great clip, right? And the reason why is that's what we've been talking about forever. The United States has no leverage. We have no power in this situation. We threw everything at the wall. You guys understand that, right? Conventionally. We basically threw it all at the wall other than a full-scale ground invasion. We used the absolute maximum firepower that we have from the air for months and months. We destroyed everything we possibly thought we could. What did that do? Nothing. It did nothing. We found that out. We found out conventionally that's not going to do anything. And so we have these are the options left. Full-scale ground invasion to a regime change and a 20-plus year protracted war of nation building with hundreds of thousands of United States soldiers' lives lost. Millions of Iranians will die. Or we give up. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. That's where America's at. There's no in between. What are we going to do? What are we going to do when we go back to a bombing campaign? Okay. What that does nothing, right? Did that bombing campaign reopen the Strait of Hormuz? No. Right? So we are again stuck in a rock and a hard place. We have officially the United States lost the war. If we just be straightforward and honest with ourselves, we lost the war. There is no way for us to win it other than again scorched earth, full-scale ground invasion, destroys the entire world at that point because the global economy just fucking craters into oblivion. We send everything we got. We have hundreds of thousands of soldiers die. So Israel can maybe get a regime change? No, that's not realistic either, right? Now, it could happen. Don't get me wrong. It could happen. Or we give up. Which I guess that's the best case scenario. But we don't have a whole lot of time here, guys. You got to keep in mind our Asian allies in Japan, Australia, and Korea, and New Zealand, they're in Indonesia and Malaysia. They are all running on Thailand, Vietnam. They're all running on borrowed time because they can't get any fucking oil. So they're going through their strategic reserves. Much of the world is going through their strategic oil reserves right now. That will dry up. And then what? And then we're going to see a massive global depression, a famine. That's all coming. And it's not very far away. This is a couple months away. And there is no end in sight. And then what? What do you think our allies are going to think then? Our Asian allies. Where are our Asian allies going to turn to? For their oil, for their alliances, for their military alliances. Where the fuck do you think Japan, Taiwan, Korea, Thailand, Australia, where do you think they're going to turn to? I don't know. Maybe Russia and China and Iran? The places where they could still get fucking oil? I would guess, right? It's not good for the United States. In fact, that massively emboldens China. It massively emboldens Russia. It massively emboldens Iran. And so if you're MAGA and you think that's a good thing, you're fucking retarded. Those are supposed to be our adversaries. And everything we're doing is driving our own allies into the bosoms of our adversaries. And they're not going to have a choice. It's that or what? Their people starve to death? Again, guys, we're not that far away. Not that far away. But at least we got Donald Trump talking about being willing to meet with the new Ayatollah. Let's take a look at this. Here we go.
So we had various levels of people, and the first set is gone, the second set is gone, part of the third set is gone, and the people we're dealing with, we know they're the people that are leading the country right
Is it the gay Ayatollah?
now. He's involved, absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the gay Ayatollah. Now, isn't that interesting that Donald Trump keeps talking about the gay Ayatollah of Iran? Now, I thought, because MAGA and the Zionists told me, I thought that they threw gay people off of buildings in Iran. Right? Isn't that what they do to people in Islam? They throw them off the building. But yet the Ayatollah is gay? Now, wait a second. It's almost like you lied to us about something. It's almost like you lied to us about something. Now, how could they possibly have a society where they're slaughtering gay people and they don't like gay people if the Ayatollah is gay? Again, I don't know. I'm just saying something's not adding up here. Something's not adding up here, as if maybe we're not being told about what their society is actually, right? Just saying, right? It's just kind of weird. And Donald Trump himself has now said the Strait of Hormuz could remain closed until September. He just said yesterday. He said, I think it could be closed through Labor Day, but I think it's unlikely. I think we'll have it. I think this will resolve itself. He's saying, I think this will resolve itself quickly. Labor Day, September. So again, he's got no fucking clue. He has no idea. Literally no idea what's going on, obviously. It's all just fucking flying by the seat of our pants. You know what I mean? It's pretty rough out here. All right, it's pretty rough out here. So, not good, ladies and gentlemen. None of this is good. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves and your family. Make sure, again, I'm not fear-mongering here. I'm just somebody that likes to live prepared myself. Like to have my family prepared. It's always good to be prepared, right? But make sure you've got a good stockpile of food, water, all those different things, because you have no idea when this could really be a shit hits the fan situation, right? We're already seeing in the United States things like diesel starting to run out. So what happens when the freight industry no longer starts coming to your city or your town to deliver things because there's no more fucking diesel? Gas is, $10 a gallon, so people aren't supplying your town anymore. Like, these are things that sadly and could actually come to fruition if nothing changes, right? We can't cut off, especially if things get more severe in that conflict. If that conflict elevates, if the Strait of Mandab is shut down, right? And now 35% of the world's oil is cut off. There's just, a lot of things you got to be ready for. Somebody said, how's the hair growth post-surgery? I haven't had my hair transplant yet, dude. I haven't had that done yet. Okay. All right, guys. We actually made it to the end of the show. It's a little bit shorter show tonight on Friday's show. So thank you all so much. Again, things are getting weird out here. So let's make sure we, again, take care of your families. Make sure you're prepared for any type of really fucked up things that may be coming around the corner. Because again, we got a lot of bread and circuses in front of us right now, but it is pretty scary out there right now. So anyway, okay, we made it to the end. All right, guys, those of you just here for the regular part of the show, thank you so much. We now have to finish up the super chats. Okay. And then we will jet out of here on this lovely Friday evening. The early stream, guys, will be Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday at 4 p.m. We're starting at 4 p.m. Pacific. That is 1 hour early on Tuesday. Okay, that'll be our regular scheduled Tuesday show, but it will be an hour early because me and JD, we've got Dorf WWE wrestling to get to later in the night. Okay, so thank you all so much for sticking around. Pretty good sized show for this lovely Friday. If you are going out to have some fun, I know the weather is beautiful in a lot of places right now. Make sure you guys are being safe out there, okay? Be safe out there. Don't be drinking and driving, do anything crazy. I know you guys are responsible. All right, now let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's hit the super chats, make our way through the rest of the show. All right, thank you all so much. Now let's do it. All right, Laser says, wasn't Erika Kirk pregnant for like 4 minutes? Maybe. I don't know if she's ever been pregnant. I'm not convinced that those are her and Charlie's children at this point at all. So, did you see that Pride Month is being celebrated at the White House UFC event? Wouldn't be shocked. Get your tickets and support the Pride of America. Especially with our greatest ally being there. They love that shit. They absolutely love that shit. Glitter Girl hosting. Surely that's an issue regarding health and safety at work. Glitter in the eyes is a serious hazard for the fighters. Ban it. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, they're going to have a lot of fireworks ready for her, though, right? There better be a lot of fireworks ready for her if she's shown up. Hey, man, we may not agree on everything, but I appreciate your logical takes on the world. Voted Trump, Biden, Kamala. Hoping that's pretty wild, huh? Hoping for a Massey-esque figure upcoming. Yeah, I think we all are. As a veteran, you do well representing us. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Those very, very kind words from you. Appreciate you. All right. Renee says, much rather see Drewski as Erika host the event. Now, that is something, to Renee's point, that I could get behind. I could 100% support Drewski cosplaying as Erika Kirk as the host of the UFC event. That would be chef's kiss, but I don't think we're going to get that. Thank you, Renee. Appreciate it. Hardway says, Nate, contemporaries are canaries in the coal mine. When opinions evolve and even pivot to the right opinion as a good goy or just stop, pressure works. All right. I left some DNA over there. Oh, in the sand. Yeah. Thank you. Elijah says, late to the party, man. I'm a Marine and I... Oh, you talking about the porta shitters? That's probably what we're talking about. Yeah. Okay, we're talking about the Graham Plattner porta shitter jokes, which again, I literally have made 100 times in my life, and so has every soldier that's ever deployed. By the way, Elijah says, late to the party, man, Marine, and cranked my hog all the time while deployed in a porta john. Another long drive. Glad to have you to listen to. It's a thing. Now, let's explain this because I know there's probably a lot of non-veterans in the chat who are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Why are you talking about cranking hog in the porta party?" Let me explain why this is just something that is part of the lifestyle. Okay. Now, maybe not in Army Special Forces because we live a little bit more grass is greener on the other side, right? We don't live in like tight confined barracks. But if you're a young Marine or a young infantryman and you're downrange in a combat zone, you're living on top of each other and you aren't really trying to crank hog right next to your buddy in your rooms together, right? Because you're in bunk beds and things like that. So the only privacy you're in, the showers are all open bay showers and things like that. If you're lucky to even be at a place that has showers, the only place you are going to get privacy to take care of male needs. And keep in mind, we deploy, and back in the day, 6 to 14 month long deployments, right? The only place you are going to get that privacy potentially is in a porta shitter. And so, yes, that is sort of the running joke in the infantry and the Marines of that is the place where you take care of that business. Okay. This is just something that's part of the culture. And so, again, when you see Graham Plattner get attacked for making a joke about cranking hog in the porta shitter, no veteran is going to give a fuck about that. Okay. So, anyway, sorry to all the non-veterans who are listening to this going, you guys are disgusting, but it is just a part of the way things work. Okay. So anyway, little explanation to what we're talking about here. All right. Fireside Folklorist says it's obvious that BB is behind the banning of an American UFC champion. True. Duh. I don't even follow UFC, but I'm calling for a boycott. That's amazing. Okay. We're stealing that. We are definitely stealing the term boycott, right? When you boycott something. Yes. So, and also we are actually, this channel is boycotting the UFC event. So, yes, I love that. That's a great word. We're going to steal that. Boycott. Love it. That's a new word for boycott. Justin Gagey. Gagey. Oh, yeah. He's going to take a beating for this. Thoughts on Young Washington coming out July 3rd. Young Washington. Thoughts on Young Washington? I'm not sure what this is, homie. Sorry. Nothing hotter than a man who loves and has a cat. Yeah. We do love Munchkin. Thank you. Our greatest ally. with the flags. Thank you. That's a little protection for us. Frank says, did anyone else notice MAGA and Trump are afraid America first right after Israel's done? Well, I don't know. Well, we'll see. They should be, because I have a feeling they're going to be getting cooked real hard in the midterms, but we'll see. Gagey is getting knocked out by Topuria. Highly likely. So if you guys actually follow fighting, then you'll know the odds Gaethje is going to win are extremely, extremely low in this matchup. So that is going to be even worse for him. If he gets knocked out after cucking for our greatest ally, then that's going to be not great for his brand as well. Kiwi says, is this UFC thing going to be anywhere near as bad as his military parade he had last year, trying to be like Russia and China with their huge parades? I don't know, because I don't think there's going to be that many people there allowed, because it's not very big. So it's going to be, from what I can see, it's like maybe 1,000 or so seats. It doesn't look like it's going to be a very big event. It's mainly a televised event. So it's going to be hard to tell, like booing and things like that. Probably you're not going to see a lot of that, because it's going to be hand-picked guests, right? It's going to be only people there. Obviously, look, they're not even letting fucking Sean Strickland show up. So it's going to be very hand-picked guests that are going to be favorable to Trump. So I don't think we're going to see anything like we would see at a big arena. But we'll all know. It'll be interesting to see what the numbers are. But again, we probably won't be able to see the numbers because it's on Paramount. And they're going to try to make it seem like it was some massive event that I'm sure it's not going to be. I know tons of people that are boycotting it, myself included. I refuse to watch it, which is hard for me to do, because my favorite fighter, Alex Pereira, my favorite fighter, is fighting for the championship. And so I would love to watch it, but I refuse to do it. I can't do it. Can't do it, even though my favorite fighter is fighting. So I'll just have to, just see the results when I Google it later. But unfortunately, I'm not watching it. Wish BB would say bye-bye. That'd be nice at some point. Thanks, Joe. AJ says Trump was the middle of an. Oh my God. Between who though? Between who? That's like a very what was that? What was that movie? Where they're the big worm, where they're all connected. You guys know what I'm talking about? That movie's gross. Human Centipede, right? He was Human Centipede. Trump was the middle of the Human Centipede. Probably BB in the front, JD Vance in the back, maybe. That's probably how they would have it set up, I would bet. That's probably how they would have it set up. Would be my guess. I don't know. Just spitballing here. Gabby says, appreciate your content. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you, Gabby. Very generous of you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that generous donation from you. Mr. Wallace, what's up, brother? It says, Barry O redesigned an existing tennis court into a basketball court. Yeah, and they lost their minds over it, right? Fox and pre-MAGA Republicans lost their shit. Imagine if he had the NCAA Final Four on the White House line, hypocrisy MAGA. Yeah, let me show you actually how fucking destroyed the White House is with the ballroom plus this right now. Let's take a look at this. I mean, this is just take a look at this, guys. What a shit show this has turned out to be. Let's pull this up. Look at this. That's the White House. Look at this fucking dump. Just cranes everywhere. They destroyed all the grass. The fucking ballroom is just a ripped apart shit show. Look at this. Could you imagine? And it's going to be this way for years, man. It's going to be this way for years. This is going to take years to fix all this. What the fuck, man? If you've ever been to Washington, D.C., it's gorgeous, right? Going and seeing the Capitol and seeing the Capitol buildings and going and seeing the White House, that's ruined for people for the next 2+ years. It does. It looks like a giant fucking junkyard. It's gross, man. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous in person. I was just there. When were we there? Last Memorial Day when I was in Maryland. Took my wife to go. She'd never been to Washington D.C. Took her to go see see everything there. It's beautiful, and now it's just fucking Yeah, 100%, 100%. They need to just rip that entire shit down as soon as he leaves. But just gross. Sad to see. You know. Okay. Anyway. Gabby, thank you for gifting 10 VFT memberships as well. Very, very generous of you on top of that super chat. Thank you, Gabby. Bring the Dwarves Wrestling. I'm so UFC. Yeah. Draco says Paramount Zion Plus. That's 1,000% true, obviously. Oh, God, with Ellison's running it. Thank you, Draco. Troy says, asking for a friend, how many IDF soldiers died in Iraq and Afghanistan compared to the other allies? Well, Troy, I know that answer immediately off the top of my head. It is 0, none. They did donate 1 bulldozer to the cause in the 20-year global. That's a real thing. They did. They did. I got to give them credit. In the 20-year war, we fought for them and spent $10 trillion fighting for them. They did donate 1 bulldozer at one point. So thank you to our greatest ally for that generosity regarding that 20-year war we fought for you. So they did donate 1 bulldozer. So let's not shortchange them. Okay, let's not shortchange them. Let's be fair. You guys know I like to be fair and call balls and strikes, and that is true. They did donate that. So AJ says happiness comes and goes. My happiness comes from Flo. Erika Kirk, which hilariously, she has actually made comments about this. So thanks, AJ. Buff says 2026 is the year of it gets worse before it gets better, or it gets worse before it gets. I wasn't ready for that. I thought it was going to be the typical quote of it's worse before it gets better, but you blindsided me. That it's the year of it gets worse before it gets worser. Currently working on the Goyim Defense Force and tactical Care Bear patches. Oh, for your patches, yeah. I'll show those patches that you sent on the stream on Tuesday. They are super funny. Buff sent some really funny patches over. We'll probably do some giveaways and throw some of those patches in next time. But anyway, thank you, brother. And Murray Crochets. Okay. Need to point out the video Bay sent over was from Allie Top Files, not our top ally, like you said. Had to set the record for my girl Allie. Oh, Allie Top Files. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, sorry, I must have read his. Where is that? We can pull that back up. Oh, it's just the video. That's all I got. But anyway, there you go. Yeah, my bad. Not our top ally. Allie's Top Files. There we go. Got it. Let's give her credit if that's her video. Thank you. Super funny video, though, by the way. And thanks to Baze for sending that over. Saw a great video about why everybody hates boomers on YouTube. I just saw a really good video about this too today. They enjoyed the greatest economy and economic growth in human history. They hoarded all the wealth, bought up all the property, dominated politics, call us lazy. 100% true. 100% true. I've talked about this before. This is how you guys know the famous quote, right? That hard times create hard men create good times create good men create hard times, right? We all know that quote, but it's objectively true, and we can see the timeline play out if we go back to the greatest generation who fought World War II, right? Hard fucking times. Those people grew up as kids during the Great Depression, and then they went off and fought a world war, came back, and they had the next generation. Their kids were the baby boomers, right? Which was an era of American massive prosperity and massive growth, right? That was the boomers grew up in the greatest basically time, people like to say, in American prosperity. And that's what they lived under. And so what did they do? Well, they grew up in the good times. And then boomers did what with those good times? Well, they became weak and they created hard times. And you are now here. That's 2026. We are now in that part of the cycle of hard times. So hopefully that's just the way it goes. I'm sorry, but sorry to the boomers. I'm not saying all boomers are like that, but somebody said, what about the roaring 20s? Yes, correct. Good times, right? Created weak men, which then created the Great Depression and a world war. That's how the cycle works, right? That's how the cycle works. So that's why what we're seeing now is Gen Z is this insanely based demographic now. Well, why is that? Well, because Gen Z is growing up and is going to grow up in a really fucking shitty economic environment. We're already seeing it. So Gen Z is already living through the hard times. They're going to have to become hard men, right? And ideally, hopefully, Gen Z then creates that new cycle of prosperity. But we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, and it's not all boomers, guys. It's not all boomers, right? I'm just saying the systemic control of everything for the last 30 years has been controlled by the boomer generation, right? That's the truth. And so that's just where we're left at the moment, right? Good, bad, or indifferent, whether you are in that demographic or not. We're not saying it's your fault personally, of course, but your generation, if you're a boomer, is unfortunately responsible for the current conditions in the world, right? Who's in control of everything right now? Boomers. Who's in control of the United States? Donald Trump. Who's in control of Israel? Even Netanyahu. These are all boomers, right? Who's in control of who's the CEO of every goddamn company? For the most part, old Gen X to boomers. So anyway, it's not every boomer's fault, but we are seeing sort of the unfortunate cycle right now. We're in the hard time cycle, or we're entering the hard time cycle for sure. Where's the boyfriend? Why aren't there interviews? Talking about Erika? Not sure. Oh, you're talking about, no, Tyler's boyfriend. Yeah, I don't know. He disappeared. And apparently they're not worried about having him. Did you guys hear? They're not going to have Lance Twiggs. He's not going to be a witness. The boyfriend who supposedly everything was admitted to, he's just not going to be a witness and he's just not going to be there. That seems weird. That seems like somebody you might want at the trial. But who knows? Yeah, from what I've heard, he won't be a part of it. FBI is not concerned with him. So, pretty wild. Anyway, he seems like potentially more guilty than Tyler does, but they just don't care. So there's that. Jason says, imagine if we had a woman president who wrecked the economy, started a bullshit war, doesn't care about any of us except building a ballroom and decorating the White House. We are fucked. Vote independent. That's actually kind of funny. We don't have a woman that did all these things. We have just a gay man. Donald Trump is obviously a gay man. It's not my opinion. I just think that's objectively true. Right? We've done episodes on that before. That's my personal opinion. I think he is a gay man. And, everybody's free to disagree with me if they want to, but go back to his time with Roy Cohen and start looking at some of that stuff. Look at the way he talks. And yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Nothing wrong with that. The whole closeted thing, I think, is not great. If you're going to be closeted and then also be anti-gay, that's a big problem. But anyway, I digress. I'm free to have that opinion if I want. Right? It's my opinion. So that's just the vibe I get. That's the vibe I get, right? All right. Rye the Guy says, Cash now claiming they have spectral evidence that a note existed. Yes. Pulling out the old Salem witch trials strategy, I see. Yes. Yes, they do. That's essentially the argument they're making. They have some type of forensic evidence that proves that a destroyed note existed at one time. That'll be great for the jury. Yeah, that'll really sell. Overgeneralization. Love my true America First boomers. A vast majority of extremely wealthy politicians are boomers. I am Gen Z, and I bust my butt working construction. Won't be able to buy a home at 27. No, you won't. Most likely. And keep in mind, it's not just you. The average age of a first-time home buyer is over 40 years old now in the United States. The average age of a home buyer in general is 60 years old now in the United States. So don't take it personally. That's unfortunately just the conditions that we live in, which are super fucked, by the way. Kyle says, are they saying they destroyed it, or who? Is that not the definition of tampering with evidence? Who's getting charged for that? They haven't said. They haven't said who destroyed it. They just said that it was destroyed. So I would assume the FBI, like if you had it at one point, once the FBI had the fucking evidence, it doesn't seem like they gave it back. Like, they didn't give it back to Lance Twiggs and be like, hey, we'll let you hold on to it for a while, bro. Just make sure you hold on to it. Don't lose it. You know, I would assume. Or they never had it to begin with. Probably more likely. How do you unseal? Yeah, here's exactly what Frank's saying. How do you unseal something that doesn't exist? Does that require a pretend envelope? Yeah, it most likely never. The reality is that evidence, I'm sure, never existed to begin with, right? Like, that was slop put forward by the FBI, much like his fucking bizarre theater kid text messages, much like everything else. I am probably pretty sure that note never, ever, ever fucking existed to begin with. And that's their new excuse after they ran with that story for months and months and months, and now they need to be able to explain that is, it was accidentally destroyed. Like Kash Patel said, we promise it exists. At one point, it existed, but it is destroyed now. And that was Kash Patel that said that. So we watched his clip of him saying it, right? It's not me making that up. All right. Real American Nomad says, my constant and only travel buddy for nearly 10 years met an unexpected and crazy end this week too. Wow, that's sad. It's tough to even see her picture here. I'm sorry if this is her right now. Very, very sad. Remember, God cares for the sparrows. Our buddies aren't gone. Heaven is real. It is for dogs. I know that. That's for sure. Man, hate to hear that. We got 2 lost fur babies tonight. Sad to hear, man. Sorry to hear that. And we'll say a prayer for your little fur baby too, man. We hate to hear that. We hate to hear that. We don't like hearing about our fur babies going away on this show, you know. So I'm sorry, man. It depresses me just hearing about it. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you, though. All right. Will Trump and BB come out at the UFC event for Pride Month? I don't know, dude. Maybe they should at this point, you know. Maybe just be better for everybody. Just be better for everybody. Thank you. Katie, thank you. Very generous donation, Katie. Tyler's Leather. My love, I have disposed of a firearm in a location even the pesky dogs can't sniff out. I am fleeing in my vehicular. Post haste. Kind regards. Tyler attached a keepsake fingerprint. This is perfect because this is just about how his other note was. And yes, this is exactly to Katie's point. This is fantastic, by the way. This is exactly how Gen Z kids talk. And I know that because we have a 16-year-old Gen Z son, and this is the way all of him and his buddies talk for sure. Now, if that note would have said, you know, hey, bro, skibbity toilet riz, I'm out here Charlie Kirk maxing and some shit like that, then that might have been a little bit more believable. But the theater kid talk, like Katie said here, no, not likely from the 22-year-old Gen Z kid. All right, thank you, Katie, very generous. Tyler, it's funny. Jason says Tyler will be living in our greatest ally once all this is said and done. I don't know about that one. I have a feeling. I have a feeling whoever did pull the trigger probably already is living there at the moment. That would be my guess. Thank you, Roops, becoming a member. And for Puppy Paws, needs to be renamed Fake. What is it? Fake? I can't even say this. Forensic evidence. Yeah. Jake says, who would appreciate 250 years of USA and turn it all against humanity and make a joke of it? Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump would do that. Donald Trump is doing that. So there's that. Patrick says the whole Tyler Robbins thing was by far the best laugh I had all week. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you. Hey, that wasn't. We watched Kash Patel fucking say it. He's the one that explained it. I just reported on it. I just reported on how fucking stupid it is. I'm not the one that said it. That was Kash Patel. And of course, the FBI, who's been just done some stellar work so far in the Charlie Kirk case and continues to, it appears. All right, Chuck E. Cheese. Norris says, Massey to memorialize. I have seen this. The USS Liberty on June 8th on the House floor. Some survivors will be present. Hopefully he calls out our greatest ally. Oh, I'm sure they will be. And yeah, we'll definitely do an episode on that once that happens. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that too. It's going to be pretty wild. And I mean, how could you not? That's literally the entire point of this. But if they do it publicly on the House floor, that's gonna be crazy. And I know Massey's planning on doing that. He's doing some wild shit. He's doing some wild shit now that he's on his way out. Jake says Roosevelt gave up Poland to the Soviets during World War II negotiations, then died 2 months after the massive cerebral hemorrhage, a type of stroke. Don't know. But, we know the track record for what happens if you don't do what you're told as a president. U.S. president. Murder Mitten says, your assessment of Megyn Kelly being on the fence still, in my opinion, is very accurate. Valhalla, can you explain more for the people in the back why? Okay, so look, Megyn's a tough one, right? Her new Sean Ryan, I did a whole episode, if you haven't watched it, on the on all the Sean Ryan stuff and the Sean Ryan clips, which I did think, look, she said all the right things. She said all the things I agree with almost the entire time, outside of she's still trying to defend Donald Trump for Epstein, which kind of tells me she's still on the fence. But the problem with Megyn is that when I call her a fence sitter, is that she, depending on which way the wind is blowing on any topic, she kind of is just going to take that topic. For example, right? She said, a month ago? She said that if Donald Trump nuked Iran, she would still vote for Donald Trump. And then 2 days later, after Donald Trump attacked her, then she was completely like anti-Trump. And it's just like, that's a pretty fast pivot, right? Like a 48-hour window, massive pivot like that. That's not normally how these are authentic. Like most of us, right? Like we kind of slowly got to our conclusions over time. Like I didn't become, for those of you guys been watching the channel, for a long time, I haven't supported Donald Trump, but I didn't become like viscerally full F MAGA, F Donald Trump until the first, and you can go back to my content on it, right? I was extremely critical of us going to war with Iran the first time. I remember talking to you guys on the live and I said, if he fucking does this, I'm done with any potential like support at all of this guy. And then we bombed and invaded Iran. And since then, that was my cutoff point. The Epstein files on top of that, when he came out and said, if you're still talking about the Epstein files, you're not one of my supporters. That was like, okay, yeah, fuck this guy, right? Like he's obviously a pedophile and he's protecting pedophiles. I'm completely done. But all of us sort of got there over time. And so it's hard for me to sort of believe when somebody who is literally saying shit like Jeffrey Epstein isn't a pedophile, 14-year-old girls are barely legal, and then a week later you've completely flipped to the other side. That's not typically how people transition the things they believe. Usually, you guys know what I mean? Like it usually takes human beings a while to come to new conclusions based off of new evidence and new things. It's usually not a like 180-degree flip on all of your values overnight. So I do appreciate that Megyn is saying all the right things now. But what I need to see out of Megyn is consistency, right? If 6 months later Megyn is still consistent saying the exact same things, I'm going to say, hey, cool, got it. But my voice sounds stressed. You must be brand new to my show. This is just the way my voice sounds. Not stressed at all. I'm actually super relaxed. This is a great Friday evening. But again, yeah, I just think I'm glad that Megyn Kelly is saying the things she's saying. 100%. She's got a huge platform, and she's going to pull her audience with her in the right direction. So that's great. I think it's great. We want all of the big channels to move in the right direction, right? Because it helps push a lot of those MAGA people who are on the fence to get off the fence in the right direction. But she could very easily, a month from now be right back to supporting Donald Trump. So we'll have to wait and see. But I also told you guys 6 months ago, what we would start seeing is we would see what did I tell you? I told you guys we were going to start seeing all of these sort of centrist MAGA influencers are going to jump ship. They're going to flee the sinking ship. And we're, of course, starting to see that, right? And you're going to see more and more and more of that. It's not going to stop. So, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but But anyway, I'm supporting Megan, right? Because I appreciate that she's saying all the right things, but trust but verify, right? We have a saying in the military called trust but verify. And I think that's kind of where we're at with her. So anyway, she's saying all the right things. Big thumbs up to her recently, but let's see some consistency. You know what I mean? See some consistency. That's all we got to see now. Anyway, I digress. What do we do now? It's obvious what situation is, but how do we even get out of the situation? Voting seems useless. I think it is. I think voting at the moment is useless from what we've seen. How do we get out of it? I don't know. Things have to get a lot worse before they get better. I forget, was it AJ or Buff said earlier, things are going to get a lot worse before they get worser. I think that's what has to happen first before we see any meaningful change, unfortunately. Cash interview from HDC was September 15th. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So that changes nothing. Again, that's exactly what we're talking about. This is the new evidence that they're bringing forth into trial. Like I said, was Kash Patel's supposed evidence about that. So that note is now destroyed, right? And they're going to try to put that forward into the evidence of the new trial or of the hearing, which is why it's fucking ridiculous, because it's not evidence. But we'll have to see how they do it. This country has a problem, and we need a solution. Well, I don't have one for you. I wish I did. Like I said, the best we can do is keep vocal, right? We are moving in the right direction, I think. American troops sacrificed on the altar of Trump's ego. Just saying. True. 13 of them so far. Potentially more. Potentially more to come. Jake says, Democrats bad. Then why the World Economic Forum gave BLM a seat in 2019, protecting them from any consequence for 2020 manufacturing crisis to reset social standards. Okay. Are you saying Democrats are bad because of that? That's fine, I guess. But thank you. I'm not really sure what point you were making here with this one, brother. Unless I missed it. Hate when the Goyim try to defend themselves. Yeah. Michael says, keep doing what you're doing, bringing the truth unapologetically. Central Illinois here, been rocking the America First shirt. Hell yeah. Got a few coworkers and friends watching the show. Awesome, man. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy the show and, doing the best we can out here. So, but I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks. Jen, what's up? Says party 1 supports or instigates foreign war. Foreign war cripples economy. Party 2 elected to clean it up. Yes. Inherited foreign war leads to refugee crisis. I was just going to say that. Refugee crisis leads to people elect another one-party leader. Rinse, repeat. Now, there is another way that people explain this, and that is that, how do I want to say this? Right-wing, a right-wing religious group starts the wars, creates the refugee crisis, and then the left-wing version of that religious group opens the borders to bring them all in to destabilize society. So it's basically what you said with some more context of who's responsible for it. So, but try to be very careful how I say that on YouTube, if you know what I mean. But I'm pretty sure you guys understood what I was saying there. But yes, that's actually exactly what happens. And we're seeing that in Europe, especially. And we saw that in the United States as well. But Europe is really the real hard hitter of this for sure. Really, really hard hit from that. New DC pushing to make lies real. Theming military tech easier with merging. Oy vey. Yeah, so we talked about that section 224. That's exactly what that is for. Yep. Ed says nobody is talking about this yet. Section 622 of the Senate Intel, I haven't seen this, Authorization Act for fiscal year 2027 is similar to Section 224, but for U.S., our greatest ally, Intel sharing under the ODNI, the infiltration is now complete. So I have to look this up. God damn it. Just let's look this, because this is what they're always doing. They're always hiding. They're trying to hide and bury this shit in bills. Like we're not going to find it because they're crafty like that. All right, section 622 of the Senate Intel Committee. Let's write that one down because I haven't seen this one yet. Okay, I'll check that later. And this whole Intel sharing shit, Why? Why do we need to give Mossad more intel? I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that needs to be a thing, right? But apparently it does, based off of everything that's happening. The Ayatollah is Lady G gay, sort of secret. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe he's the Lady G of Iran. Or he just isn't gay, and that's just something that they're saying. But again, doesn't even make sense, but fuck it, why not? Chris says the U.S. lost a war to a nation that has been under sanctions for 47 years. Every day goes by, a global depression gets more likely. True and true. True and true. Both sad. And yeah, we did. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, everyone. Well done. Well done, guys. Pokey fan, Karl Marx, okay, says, call congressman and tell them to strip Section 224 out of the appropriations bill. We talked about this on Tuesday doing this. Yes, if it passes, it creates a defense technology partnership with our greatest ally that will be impossible to undo forever. Yeah, so, Pokey, we have talked about this extensively this week on the show and on the last live, and we have also given this advice to everybody in the channel to make sure you call your congressman and complain about Section 224. So, yes, I agree with you 100%, man. 100% on that one. Jake says Marion Abelson awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in November 2018, then flies convicted spy Jonathan Pollard to our greatest ally in December 2020 aboard Adelson's private jet. Welcome by Netanyahu. Oy vey. Yes, and Jonathan Pollard got a hero's welcome by Mike Huckabee as well. John says, thanks for all your work, big man. Well, thank you, John. Very generous of you. Appreciate you being here, man. Appreciating that generosity from you. Very, very, very kind of you. Thank you. Chris says, I was in Leo 2 tank in Afghanistan, and the gunner's hole was it. Oh, and that's where you got some of your cranking done, huh? There you go, guys. It's a veteran thing. All right, it's a veteran thing. Hey, I'm joining the Canadian Army as a cyber operator. Any general advice for general military? This is what I tell all the young bucks. Take advantage of everything you can. Volunteer for every school. Try to learn every skill set you can. Get education done. If you guys have programs to where you can go to school, like we do in the United States, to get your bachelor's degree, do that. Okay. The military, at least, I don't know about the Canadian military, at least the American military, has a lot of opportunities that young guys don't take advantage of. All right. So if you're going to do it, take advantage of everything you can. Okay. Like make the time worth it. That's what I tell guys. Taco says, is that an El Camino on cinder blocks on the front line of the White House? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what it looks like for the most part. I mean, that's just an absolute dumpster. Let's see, we can pull this back up. The absolute just dumpster that this thing is. I mean, you could easily see an El Camino on cinder blocks out here. Look at this trailer park. Holy shit. This does it looks straight out of Idiocracy. Like, look at this. God, dude. Like, this was, you guys realize, like, all of this is grass. They're destroying all of that. All of it's getting destroyed. All of that's grass. And it's just all getting destroyed for this fucking stupid ass event. Anyway. Jeff says, I was in law enforcement and asked my instructor how boxing or MMA is not considered assault. They said that could not be answered without backlash. How boxing or MMA is not considered assault. What do you mean? What's the context here? Like in the street? I'm not sure what you mean. What am I missing here? I was in law enforcement. Asked my instructor how boxing or MMA is not considered assault. I'm not sure I get it, man. Sorry. Are you talking about like mutual combat? Depending on your state, if both persons agree to mutual combat, like Texas is a mutual combat state, yeah, you can box or fight in the street, man. And then you can go your separate ways if that's what you mean. But not everywhere has mutual combat laws on law enforcement. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I mean, that's what I do. There's no assault when I go in and, we fight each other in the gym all the time, right? And sparring and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not sure what you meant on that one. Thank you though, bro. PT doesn't bother to wipe the PT doesn't bother to wipe the corners of his mouth when he's done and wears it like a badge of honor. We've got your back. Oh, God. Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate it, Rooftop Rabbit. BB versus Trump for the title. Now, that would have been something I would tune in for. If you would have had Trump fight BB as the main event, and whoever wins gets to be president of the United States, that's what we should have done, right? Why not? I would have tuned in for that one. Yeah, that probably should be what happened. Ragman says, hey, brother, consider a 1-1 with Mr. Quigley 33, referred by Ian Carroll, recent podcast titled The Synagogue of Satan. Rituals are insane. Last live. Read my super didn't pop up when searched. Thanks for your service, bro. Yeah, see, this like this type of stuff is way too much for me, right? Like, great that they're covering it, but the odds of getting your channel nuked for this is so high that it's not even worth touching. That's so dangerous. That's like maybe on Rumble sometime we might do something like that, but yeah, you can't touch this stuff with a 10-foot pole. They don't fuck around with that, man. You start going down the real rabbit hole of that religion and on YouTube, and they will cook you into oblivion. So maybe sometime on Rumble or something like that, but can't talk about that stuff here. Just the way it is. They don't want to let that go. Pena says we probably bought that bulldozer for them, and when they lent it to us, they had no gas. It said we have to return it with a full tank. Yes, probably. John says I'm a 54-year-old vet, and I've never been more ashamed of afraid of my government than I am right now. And Dana White and his lack of empathy for men's mental health can suck it. Yeah, we've talked about that before. We trashed Dana White for saying that. Again, nothing worse than somebody who tries to pretend like men's mental health doesn't matter, especially in the space of veterans. And the dude also has a bunch of fighters that have CTE and, have issues with unaliving themselves as well. So, yeah, scumbag. But, yeah, I mean, shit's scary right now, homie. It's pretty scary. I wish I had a good upbeat way to say things are going to be fine. I don't know if they are. Right. I hope so. I'm optimistic, kind of, but things are not looking good at the moment for the next couple of years, obviously. So, but thank you, bro. Kiwi says, would they let America stop funding them, or would they threaten to drop nukes on Iran? Threaten to do it. So, I don't know, Kiwi. I don't know. This is kind of where like the Samson option comes in. If we were to shut off all funding and then shut off all support, and then the Middle East decides payback time, motherfucker, then it's pretty high likelihood they let them rip, I think. So that's where that gets scary too, right? That's where that gets scary too, is they're not going down without self-immolation themselves, right? So that's in their actual doctrine. So that gets pretty scary. It's pretty scary. BB, the RS. BB, the IRS has enriched uranium. Go get them. Yeah. The IRS will be able to have nuclear weapons within 2 weeks. So let's send them after the IRS. I agree with you on that one. Rubes says, "Where's that wedding ring?" Oh, okay, it's okay. No, it's Miss Valhalla. No, it's MIA. Yes, she has it. My wife has it right now. I had to get it taken off. I had to get it taken off for a procedure I had on Tuesday. But don't worry, she's got it. She just hasn't given it back to me yet. So, Yogo, you almost caught me. You almost caught me. But yeah, no, my wife has it right now. I took it off for a procedure I was getting done at the doctor on Wednesday. All right. So Trump blow Bubba? According to the Epstein files, he did. Yep. But I mean, we don't know who Bubba necessarily is, right? So, hand Botox. No, I had to get some glands removed. Okay. Jeff Mullins says, Syria or AI confirms Trump's name appears more than the Epstein files, so it needs renamed the Trump files featuring Epstein. Well, his name. You know what's crazy is I think his name does actually appear more than Big E. It's 38,000 times. So it's like, what was it, like 16 times more than the next closest person? So Wouldn't be shocked there. Buff Like Jesus says, your dog is your best friend for part of your life. You are your dog's best friend for their whole life. I love that quote, Buff. I've heard that quote before. And yes, that is true, right? You need to always remind yourself of that too, right? They're part of your life and you are their whole life. So yeah, that's a great quote, man. Great quote. That's why we love our fur babies. Thank you. Thank you, Buff. Appreciate you, brother. Renostra says, so we can all agree that Mr. Milikowski is obviously pitching and Trump is catching. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure in that relationship. Kind of obvious from Bubba to BB. Can't make this stuff up. Yeah, in that relationship, 100%. 100%. That's a one-way pump and dump, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, gross. What? Six's mom, what's up? Says it's going to be a great trial. No evidence, but we'll tell about the evidence we used to have, then we no longer have, but remember having it. Guilty. Aloha from Kauai. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's looking like right now. That's what it's looking like right now. It's a lot of slop at the moment. But again, who knows? Maybe there's some super secret evidence that's just been hiding this whole time. We're going to find out at some point, even though that trial is probably not going to happen for another 2 years. We'll see. On God fam, the CK situation just blew up. Shit is not bussing for real, for real. Tyler, Ramad Bros. This, okay, Scorch Girth, of course, comes in. This is what that note would have 100% looked like. This is exactly how Gen Z kids talk, by the way. So, yeah, this is what we would have seen in that text message between Tyler and Lance right here. That's it. You nailed it. Not the theater kid shit. Bobby, what's up, brother? Says the rare 12th general order not to leave a porta-can until it's properly relieved. Have a good one, Nate. See? Look at that. Even Bobby's in here dropping porta shitter jokes. So I told you guys, for everybody out there trying to attack Graham Plattner for a porta shitter joke, I'm sorry, it's not gonna offend the veterans. It's not gonna work. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you. Ja, thank you very much. $10, no comment. Still not drinking, looking good, brother. So no, not really. Let's see. I did have some drinks when I was with my old teammates in our little mini vacation, right? Because you're reliving around the campfire with the boys. But yeah, for the most part, no, not drinking, man. And yeah, we started getting pretty fit. Because of it. That's we dropped a lot of weight, almost like 30 pounds, just from the booze weight. It's crazy how much that shit adds to you without even realizing it. So, yeah. Highly encourage anybody to try it. I drank pretty much every day for 15 years until I quit recently. So, and it's been fucking awesome. So, if you guys are ever need some like a little bit of push to quit drinking, I can tell you, yeah, it's natty or not. Yes, I'm 100% natural, brother. 100% natural. This is 6'3", 235, 100% natural at 40 years old. 100% natural. Yeah. No, I'm on literally everything in the world, homie. No, I'm not natty. I'm polar opposite of natty. Let's no. I'm not natty. I'm very, very, very open with my my peptide and TRT use. So yeah, Trump is about the exact same size as me. Actually, exact same size as me. Literally. His physical, I think he said he was 6'3", 238, which is almost the exact same size as me. So Trump's out here crushing, man. Trump is crushing. Yeah, I guess if you believe that. I think he's closer to 5'10", 270, but that's just my opinion based off of somebody that knows what, most men, when we look at other men, we can tell like about how tall and what your frame is. We can have a pretty good guess of how much you actually weigh. And I don't think he's 6'3", 235. He'd be quite svelte. It's always darkest before it goes pitch black. Yeah. Well, that's black pilled for a by Hardway there. That's, yeah. Hopefully we're not going down that road. Matt Strickland says barely legal is when the person is 18 years and 1 week old. 14 is way underage and nowhere near legal. I agree 100%, but again, not according to Megyn Kelly. So that's one of those things we have drug her pretty hard on in the past. So off topic, but do you have hair? Yes. Not a lot of it. It's all matted down, right? Yeah, it's typically nicer than that. I had a hat on all day. But yeah, I do have hair. But we need more. That's why we're getting a hair transplant soon. I think in August. In August, we're getting a transplant. If I wasn't sweaty and matted down, it would be even a little bit more. But yeah, I do actually have hair. I know it's shocking to find out. A lot of people are shocked to find out that I actually do have hair. But I do need a little bit more of it. You know? Okay. What the hell's going on with U.S. military integrating Israel? Is it real or is it just a nonsense headline? Yes, it's real. Section 224. It's a bill going through Congress right now, trying to integrate a bunch of things. Oh yeah, I know it's crazy. Just no calves. Yeah, that's funny. That's actually true. How much does it cost? I'm not sure exactly yet. Probably around like 12,000. Yeah, and then I'm getting a BBL after that. Somebody said fix your flash and crest. I can't fix it. You know why? Because the military movers that moved this plaque right here smashed it, and the flash got moved, and I can't get in to actually fix that without ruining the entire plaque. So that's all we got. It's got to stay that way, unfortunately. I did have a mullet for a while, actually, about 2 years ago. I'm driving faster says hello. So why are some of us so addicted to the Charlie Kirk conspiracy? Because deep down in our hearts, we know this is wrong. Yes, 100%. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good way to frame it. Actually, that is kind of why people haven't let it go, because we know the story that we were fed is bullshit. Just like JFK, right? People have not let that story die or accepted that story since it happened, because again, the official narrative, never made sense. Never made sense to begin with. Yeah. No, again, if my hair wasn't like super sweaty and matted down, I'll show you guys next time. I'll show you on Tuesday before I'm like sitting in here sweating and like matting my hair down. I'll show you my hair before I actually have a decent amount of hair. I think it's just shocking to people when I see it that I actually do have most of my hair. It just receded a little bit. But I just like wearing hats, man. Always have. All right, Nate, why not org some military guys and do some protesting? Trump needs to be bad press from veterans. Well, so that's also hard to do, but I mean, I do that with my channel, right? Think about it this way. I try to use my platform to reach hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people with my protesting. That's kind of, I think, the best I can do with my platform is to be a vocal dissenter towards all the bullshit and use my platform to do it. So, Jen says, this one's purely for the mods. Thank y'all for keeping this community the fucking coolest sanctuary for the PH, politically homeless party. We may save this country yet. We are not alone. Well, and that's one thing that is encouraging, the fact that our channel has become successful in basically being a politically homeless, independent channel that just kind of calls bullshit on everything. Shows that a lot of people are, in the same space we are, that just want to see America do well and are fucking sick and tired of all the bullshit on both sides. And, that's good. That's also good news that the country is moving the right direction on that. You know what I mean? Jake says whiplash causes narrow blood vessels, causing muscle stiffness, vision changes, pulsatile tinnitus, severe headaches. Many fellow vets suffer because crapulous medicine intentionally failing. Okay, I'm not sure like where you would have got the whiplash from though. From like a car accident. Anyway, thank you. So BB and Trump seem that probably. Nate, you should get Professor Morandi on your show. Professor Morandi? Not sure who that is. I'll look that up. Oh, guys, I need to tell you guys. I did, and Vanessa's in here as well. We're reaching out to quite a few people to be guests on the show. And so I know you guys are fans of a lot of these people. right? So I'll let you guys know so you can bully them in their live streams and their comment sections and say, hey, you need to do content with Nate. So we're reaching out to Kyle Kalinske to see if he wants to maybe do a show together. I know you guys really want, a lot of you guys want to see that one. Keith Edwards, we want to do the Necessary podcast. A lot of you guys are fans of that. What was another one? Theo Vaughn, a few other people. So we're reaching out to all of those channels to hopefully do some collab content together. So if you guys are fans of those channels, like Kyle or whatever, tell them in their comment section. Tell them in their tell them in their live streams. Hey. Oh, Owen Benjamin did? Oh, we definitely should do some content together then sometime. But yeah, so well, Aaron loves easy because Aaron's my homie, dude. I just got to send him a text. Peaches, I just talked to Peaches today. But anyway, yeah. And yeah, Dave Smith is another one we want to do some content with. So anyway, guys, if you are fans of them, then make sure you mention that. Maybe sure, excuse me. Even just make sure you mention like, hey, Nate wants to do some content with you because obviously I'm a fan of their channel. Oh, and of course, Young Turks, Anna Kasparian and Jank. We reached out to them too. So Jack is my buddy. Me and Jack really want to do content together. The problem is, Jack works during my live streams. So what we'd have to do is we're waiting for a time that me and Jack can do some content together. But yeah, Jack 100%. Obviously, Jack's the homie. We just haven't been able to coordinate anything just off of when we do our shows. So, but yeah, we're working on some stuff, and also in person. We're trying to get the in-person stuff going too. So I think Dan from Heavy Duty Country is going to be, and JD DeLay, obviously he lives down the street. So Dan's going to be coming out. I think Jesse on Fire probably come out pretty soon once we get the studio done. So we're going to start doing those in-person shows live as well. So, yeah, anyway. So just letting you guys know, those are the things we're working on behind the scenes to get some cool guests coming. All right. Where's the Trump files? Well, they're the Epstein files, it turns out. So he's in there. Takoro says, VFT, really enjoyed the shows. Natural comedian. Your platoon must have been a laugh a minute. Keep it up, bro. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I'd like to think that I was one of the funniest guys on my teams, but there's actually a lot of funny dudes in the military and special operations. Just a lot of you got to have pretty good humor to make it through the military in general because it's so morose most of the time. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. Redeem says, seems like Trump has been part of the problem, part of Israel's plan. Excuse me. Let me restart this. Seems like Trump has been part of Israel's plan for the last 25 to 30 years. It's starting to look like maybe the long game for sure. The bulldozer was a re-gift. That is a good, they're cheap joke right there. I do like that one. That's a good one. Green Weedy says, craziest place the hog was cranked was in a foxhole while looking through NVGs. Got established dominance somehow. Maybe it's common. Maybe it's just the infantry. There you go. Then this is exactly what I'm talking about. No veteran is going to be upset about a hog cranking joke. It's just not going to be. It's not going to happen, guys. So that's why when I heard the hit piece on Graham about a joke he made, I was like, okay, that ain't it for me. You're not gonna get you're not gonna get rid of me for that. Okay. If Alex beats Gain, does he pass John as the GOAT? Oh. Probably not. I don't think he has enough fights yet, even though he's my favorite fighter. Alex is also the only two-weight champ in Glory's history. Did you get my email with Scott Horton email? I'm not sure. Let me recheck. I'll recheck as soon as the show's over. But no, Alex doesn't have enough fights in UFC to be the GOAT, I don't think. Again, he's my favorite fighter. But could he get there? Absolutely. He takes fights so often that he potentially could get there, especially if he moves up to heavyweight and he becomes the heavyweight champ and potentially holds the light heavyweight champ. If he could do both, yeah, he would probably be the GOAT. He's not far off. I do think Pereira is the best fighter we've seen in the UFC in fucking generations. But I think he needs a few more fights to catch Jones for sure. I would have loved to see them fight. I wanted to see Pereira and John fight. That would be a great fight. Thanks to Trump, I'm out of work as of today. Well, that doesn't sound good, bro. Local and big sporter want to be part of the team. Well, hate hearing that, man. Well, prayers for you. Hopefully you're going to fall on your feet with whatever your work is and whatever that is, man. So sorry to hear that. But yeah. I feel like there's a lot of that going around right now, unfortunately, with this economy, man. So hang in there, brother. Thank you. BT Arranger says, off topic, what's your bourbon of choice? I like Bullet bourbon. I'm an old-fashioned guy. My favorite drink's an old-fashioned. It's pretty much the only thing I drink if I'm like out drinking. So any good bourbon, but like I usually do Bullet bourbon for my old-fashions. Pretty standard for me. But I'll take better bourbon. Right? If you give me, I'm kind of cheap that way. Now, Bullet's not like super cheap, but if you want to give me, if you want to give me better bourbon than that, you know what I mean? I'll take it. I love bourbon in general, but yeah, Bullet bourbon is what I go with typically, or Makers or like fucking whatever. Doesn't really matter. You got to try Mayo Clinic glutathione. Oh, I do take glutathione actually. And ISL 400, absolutely life changing. Excuse me. My perimenopause, sisters. That's a ladies term, I think, right? I basically saved your life. Well, there you go. For all the pre-menopause sisters or perimenopause, if that's a thing. Ladies in the chat, take this advice. It's for you guys. Glutathione is fantastic, though. So, hair question was out of curiosity, not a diss. You're a handsome fucker. No, you're good, man. You're good. You're good. I'm surprisingly not completely bald. A lot of people think that I'm completely bald. I'm not. I've got most of my hair, surprisingly. Have you looked at ragdoll cats? They're beautiful, super soft, and lay on your desk the whole show without leaving. No offense to Munchkin. Munchkin does not do that. Ragdoll cats? We'll look that up. Ragdoll cats. I think I should know that. I think I know what a ragdoll cat is, right? Let me look that up real quick. Ragdoll cats. Oh, they're great looking cats, though. All right, we might look into that. I'll look into that. A great looking cat, by the way. See, I'll show. I already closed it out, unfortunately. Well, whoops. Well, anyway, if you guys are interested, look up ragdoll cats. Great looking cats, especially if they're super mild. Like Munchkin, super like tame, but she picks and chooses when she wants to hang out with you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times she doesn't want you messing around with her. She is a lovey cat, but not all the time. Trump must be on the same cycle as you. Yeah, probably. Probably. He might be. That if his cycle is mostly Big Macs and Diet Coke, I think though. Did the FBI do a paper rubbing to get that note? They probably did. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, probably. Vet organizations are suing over Trump's ARC. Interesting. You love to hear that. Rahm Emanuel 86th, Sean Strickland. Rahm Emanuel 86, Sean Strickland? What? I thought Rahm Emanuel was one of the good ones, isn't he? Maybe not. Oh, no. I'm thinking of somebody different. I'm thinking of somebody else. I don't know about the Sean Strickland connection here, though. Ivanka's Cold War base, tunnels and bunkers. Oh, my God. Have you guys seen what's going on in Albania right now? Please tell me you guys have seen what's going on in Albania in response to Kushner and Trump's daughter. You guys, they are going door to door. I don't know how to say this on YouTube without YouTube losing it, but in Albania, they are going. Let's say they've become the 110th country. For those of you who know what that means, they're going door to door, yanking them out of their homes and forcing them onto planes and sending them away. Like legitimately, door to door. 110th country style right now. It's wild. You're not going to see that on the media probably because the media doesn't want you to know that. But yeah, Albania is going hard in the paint literally right now. I have some clips, but I was like, I don't know if I want to show these on the show right now. But yeah, they're going full 110 in response to this Jared Kushner shit. They're not fucking around. It's insane. I was watching clips of that earlier today. So maybe we'll cover that on Tuesday if we do the second part of the show on Rumble or something like that. It's on Twitter. It's on Twitter, yeah. But pretty wild. Pretty wild. They're not messing around. There's like straight people filming it going on right now as they're just like smashing in windows and dragging people out of their homes. So it's pretty crazy. All right, Jenny says 2 of the coolest vets were manning a donation booth outside of Walmart today. It was for VA unalivings. We hung with them, bullshitting. It was awesome to see all the people who donated. Lots of love to our vets. Well, that's awesome, Janie. That's awesome to hear. And glad to hear that they're out, out doing stuff like that because, yeah, unfortunately, that's a big, big problem in our community, and it is only getting worse. Unfortunately, that problem is only getting worse, not better, especially with everything being cut at the VA, including behavior health doctors. Yes, the Trump administration has done a great job of firing the fuck out of tons of behavior health doctors at the VA. So we got that going on for us too. So that's nice. But anyway. You should have Medal of Honor recipient Earl Plumley on the show. So yeah, I was in first group the same time Earl was. I've talked to Earl before. I've reached out to him before, but we haven't ever coordinated anything. Love to have him on though. His Medal of Honor story is the best, by the way. So if we ever get him on, it's pretty wild. His Medal of Honor story is absolutely wild. So, oh boy. When did you become such an idiot? I don't know, man. Good one. You got me, dude. Good question. Little MAGA oy vey cuck in the chat, as always. Dak says 6 months sober today. Hell yeah. After 10 years of drinking, Boozers lowers testosterone levels, by the way. It does, and it destroys your fitness in the gym as well. Great show as always, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's awesome to hear, man. That's awesome to hear. Thank you. Ryan Osler says, always had a bad feeling about Trump because back in 2016, Gordon Duff of Veterans Today said he was owned by our greatest ally, but he was drowned out. But all the hype back in the day and all the other options weren't options. Well, he turned out to be right about that one. Turned out that he nailed that one perfectly, didn't he? Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you, brother. Crispy says, I've been in the Guard for 12 years, and I've never been embarrassed until this admin, not even Dump's first term, made me this mad. Everything with our greatest ally is doing. Yeah, it wasn't noticeable. Like a lot of this stuff, I don't know, maybe it was going on during the first term, but it just wasn't, we weren't noticing it. But this second term has just been an abject fucking disaster. I mean, there's almost nothing good I can point to. And I would like to point to good things because, again, I would love to be able to, like, he's doing a great job with this. And again, you guys seen, I've given him credit on things he's done a good job with. We talked about the Ibogaine bills recently. That's like the only thing he's done good in the last year. But when he does good things, I will say, great job. Thank you, Mr. President. Now, I only get to say it about once a year, but, I would love to be able to say he's crushing it. Why? Because America would be doing well. But we don't get to say that because things are not going well. Objectively, there's not a lot of good shit to talk about. I wish there was. What about a Maine Coon? Yeah, so we do like Maine Coon cats. I'm just a little bit worried Maine Coon's too big and it might eat Munchkin because they're humongous. Also, I don't think our Rottweiler would be a big fan of a Maine Coon. But we have looked at potentially doing Maine Coons. We're looking at another Munchkin cat, but we got to find one. They're so hard to find. They're really rare cats, unfortunately. I do like the idea of that. What was that? The ragdoll cats, though. I do. They look great. We might consider go with a ragdoll. I'll see if I can pitch that to my daughter and see what she thinks. My daughter But I don't know if my wife's. We got to be careful right here, guys, because you guys know my wife tunes into the show from inside the house, and if I start talking about getting fucking animals and she sees this in the chat, I'm gonna get ripped up when I come inside. So I'm checking the chat real quick. I think we might be good. I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her in the chat. So before we start talking about picking up animals, we got to make sure my wife's not listening. she'll put her foot down on that real fast. James Lee, I love James Lee's stuff, by the way. Great show on JK and IT today. Okay, I'll take it on. I watched most of his stuff. Yeah, I'm a big fan of James. He's got great content, man. Great content. Did you see the Russian ship burning in dry dock? I did not see that. Can we get a range day video? What do you mean, like range day bro, or like me at the range? So pretty soon, yeah. I actually just finished building my gun range at my house, and so I'm going to be starting to do content with that. That'll be on Patreon, though. I don't do any firearms content on the YouTube channel anymore, just because. Wow, you want to get your channel demonetized fast as F? That's yeah, I've already had 2 live streams yanked down midstream for firearms violations. So yeah, we don't do any of that stuff on YouTube anymore, unfortunately, just because they're so strict on it here. But yes, we are going to be starting to do more of that here pretty soon. They're waiting for your email at necessary pod. Oh wait, what? Did they already know? Wait, what is this? Dad was so sick. Wait, is this? Wait, I feel like, are you with? Is this? Are you guys with on this the necessary podcast? Or did you guys? Wait, what's going on here? I want to make sure if this is the. Oh, they already know. Oh, okay. Hell yeah! I didn't know that you guys got a. I know that your dad was sick. Yeah, for sure. I've been watching. I watch you. If this is you guys, I watch your stuff, so I'm aware of what's going on with your dad. If you're not busy Sunday night, try and catch a live to chat to Chad or email subject Valhalla VFT clip. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're reaching out to him if we haven't already. So, oh, is Matt in here? Oh, yeah. We got Matt in here. Matt's in here, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously. Matt's a fan of the show, or excuse me, a friend of the show. We love Matt. We're all trying to get together to do something here pretty soon. For sure. But yeah, I will. I'll tune in on Sunday and send it then. But yeah, the email should be. I don't know if Vanessa has sent the emails out yet or not, but we are definitely reaching out to the Necessary Pod. Big fan of their show, by the way. I've been watching their show I've actually been watching their show for a long time, just as a fan, just in the background. So just because I think it's a really cool premise of their show. All right, let's keep moving here. All right, is JD in here too? I thought I saw JD in here too. Right. We got JD. I know we saw Matt. I don't know. JD's always fucking lurking somewhere. He's always lurking somewhere. All right, let's keep moving here. For the Albanian painters, though, Jesus, thoughts on what we can do to raise awareness about this Gates Ticks disease connection. My pup got it. I'm so heated. Yeah, this new tick that's making you allergic to meat is crazy, dude. My Muay Thai instructor, my coach, is literally, he got fucked up by one of these ticks, and he's literally going down to Mexico to get some crazy treatment to get rid of the disease, where they like heat your body up to like 108 degrees. Some like new experimental thing to get rid of it. So yeah, it is a fucking problem. It's a problem. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's sketchy. I'm just keep that shit away from me because I like meat, But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it other than what we've seen so far based off the reporting and the weird shit going on. But yeah, I do know people that have been affected by it personally. General Mad Dog warned us when he resigned last term. True. Yes, he did. And we didn't listen. Do you think do you think there is going to be a revolution in the United States? This government is going way too far. I think eventually you could see one. Do I think it's coming soon? No. It's got to get so much worse. Things have to get so much worse. But they could get worse fast. It's always possible. It's always possible. Do I think one is coming? Eventually I do. Do I think it's coming like in the next year? No, probably not. The rag dog gets the name from its personality. Your wife won't even know it exists. Just tell her it's a pillow. Women love random pillows. My wife does love pillows. That's true. Earl says 313 days, no alcohol. Hell yeah, dude. I'm at like 3 months. I'm at about 3 months. Highly recommend it. Can't believe I made it this far, especially with all that goes on in the Oval Office. And all beer. Cheers. Thank you. That's awesome, man. It's almost a year. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's been great. I'm not somebody that's like, I'll never drink alcohol again, because I do like to be able to, have some drinks at an event with friends or something like that. But I'm done with the everyday drinking for sure, or a regular basis type drinking, because it's been awesome. Just also, when I do drink now, I only have to have like 2 drinks and I'm fucking good to go. It's part of the other problem. When you drink too much, you got to keep drinking. Do we still believe only 13 Americans have died? Yeah, probably. Just it's too hard to keep secret of Americans dying. Your friends know, your teammates know, your platoon mates know, your family knows. So probably, yeah, I would say this is probably realistic. Now, the casualties, this includes casualties, maiming, amputations, that has been hidden from us for sure. That number is definitely in the hundreds, like multiple hundreds. Actual casualties, and I'm talking about people getting their legs and arms blown off and things like that from these missile strikes. Yeah, I think there's a ton of that they've hidden from us, right? Because they kind of can hide those ones. It's very, very difficult for the military to hide dead soldiers, right? In the modern era. Because again, just you can't keep young privates quiet. Okay, if you know young privates, they're not keeping secrets, homies. They're not. You know what I mean? But I do think there's probably been, I think there's 200-300 casualties, and serious casualties, guys, like lives ruined casualties that they're not going to tell us about, right? They don't want us to see that. You're not going to see guys missing arms and legs and things like that. They're going to be keeping that stuff quiet. So anyway, but again, maybe not. Maybe there is, right? I'm also not gonna put it past this administration to try to hide that information either. This is the type of information that Pete Hegseth is running, the type of military that would try to hide this type of stuff for sure. So is it possible? Yes. Do I think it's super likely? Probably not. But am I open to the idea that it potentially has happened? Sure. I'm not going to say 100% they're not hiding those things. I would never say that about this. Not this administration, at least. But I would just say I would err on the side of probably what we got. So, all right, we did it. We made it to the end of the show on this Friday evening. Thank you all so much for sticking with me all the way to the end. Thanks to all the moderators, all the super chats. Thank you to all the regular viewers. Thanks to all the homies in here. We got a bunch of homies in here. Yeah, that'll do it for this one. We will be back on Tuesday for our regular scheduled Tuesday show. Remember, guys, Tuesday will be an hour early. It will be 4 p.m. because me and this guy have got Dorf WWE Wrestling to attend to later that evening. So again, the show will be 4 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday, okay? An hour early. So keep remembering that. And yes, we will be back. me and JD will have some probably great pictures from that one. And yeah, so thank you all. And also, yes, thanks to the mods as well. That's going to do it for now. I got to go grab some dinner and maybe convince my wife to let us get a ragdoll cat. I'll let you know how that goes. I'm gonna pitch it as an idea to my daughter first, because she's the one that decides, and then We'll pitch that too. And then I'll let you guys know how it goes on Tuesday. All right. Thank you all so much. And again, have a safe night. If you're going out doing anything crazy tonight on this lovely Friday, be careful, be safe, and I will catch y'all back on Tuesday. All right. Have a good night, everybody.